WMXF Waynesville and iHeart radio station.
I'm Doug Brown. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the Vikings will cut veteran running back Dalvin Cook if they can't work out a trade today. By cutting Cook, the team will save $9 million in cap space. Where will Cook land? ESPN's Booger McFarland.
You start to think of teams that are going to run the ball a lot, man. You know, teams like the Miami Dolphins. I think him being from South Florida, the ties, he went to Florida State. Oftentimes when things make too much sense, you know, we tend to kind of gloss over them. But, I mean, it makes too much sense for him to go to the Dolphins.
Booger McFarland on Greene. The Giants canceled today's OTA due to the smoke from Canadian wildfires. For the same reason, today's Diamondbacks Nationals game in D.C. was postponed. It'll be made up later in June. ESPN's Mark Schlabach reports even with this week's stunning golf merger announcement, LIV Golf is not going away. A LIV official tells Schlabach LIV will still be a standalone entity. Notre Dame Athletic Director Jack Swarbrick will step down early next year. He'll be replaced by NBC Sports Chairman Pete Bavacqua.
How would you love a chance to save some money on car insurance? Geico can help. Switch today and see all the ways you could save with great rates and discounts. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com to get a rate quote and get started seeing how much you could save.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, two men, one journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their Let's go! Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. And you can see us live in the Ingles Studio on YouTube. Sportsocracy.com. Click the live video link in the middle of the page. Follow through to YouTube. Subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. And it's just now 2 games away from
my 2023 NBA champion Denver Nuggets. And it's only going to be 2 games because last night was a bloodletting.
Denver Nuggets 109-94 over the Miami Heat in the NBA Finals in Miami. And it was a historic night for the game. It was the first time that 2 teammates in a finals game had triple doubles each.
It's also the first time that a player ever had a 30-point, 20-rebound, 10-assist triple double, which when you say it out loud just sounds stupid.
Yeah.
And then they go to Nikola Jokic and say, hey, what does it mean that you're the first one to do that? His exact response, not much.
Yeah, to be honest, not much.
I don't care. I don't care. You know what I want? Rings. And I'm about to have one in just, let's see, 5 calendar days. Game 5 in Denver, Colorado. This series is done like dinner, and I tried my best to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
It took Denver having the worst night they've had at home in 4 months, and they lost by a 3 at the buzzer. Last night was not as close as the score indicates. I watched every second of this game. I never for 1 second doubted Denver was winning this. And by the beginning of the fourth quarter, the building was practically empty.
Not even for 1 second.
Not for 1 second.
Not even for that one little stretch in the second quarter, I think it was, that I think Denver was up like 9 or something, and then immediately it felt like, oh, how'd Miami get up 7?
At halftime, the points in the paint were 44-18. Yeah, no, I wasn't worried, even a little bit, because this series has the problem that I have kept trying to tell you. Bam Adebayo, I'll let you shoot at 15 feet. You want to keep doing that little one-handed teardrop thing? You do it 50 times a night. I don't care. Jimmy Butler's getting anything he wants because the Nuggets are switching every single screen. But it doesn't matter. Oh, Aaron Gordon starts on Jimmy Butler. We'll set the high ball screen. Now he's on Jamal Murray. And so what? So he scored a few points. vast majority of his shots were terrible. And Gabe Vincent, weird. That didn't continue. Who could ever have seen that coming, that a mediocre player wasn't going to continue to be the fourth best player in this series?
Mm-hmm.
When Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic are on to that point, you're not going to beat them, period. That's where Denver's gotten. They have to have a bad night for you to have a shot.
Yes.
And I just don't see it happening.
Miami had their shot in the second game of the series. Now if you're Eric Spoelstra, what are you thinking right now? Like, what adjustment could you make to try to get one in Game 4?
There's not one, because the adjustment that I saw in Game 3 was Christian Brown is a dog, and I love him so much. And he can guard Jimmy Butler. That was the point where I went, this is over. Chauncey Major in the YouTube comments said, you don't think we get another one? No, I don't. I think you'll be lucky to keep one within 10. I wanted this to be a good series. I really did. And I heard Adam Silver on the Dan Patrick Show earlier saying, well, our ratings are going to be up. You don't understand how TV ratings work, do you there, Adam? Because, no, they're not. No. I mean, this is fun to watch. If you're a basketball purist like me, this is incredibly fun to watch. And this is what I've seen out of this team for several years. It's just all coming together at the perfect time now because you're in the finals. And you've got Jamal Murray healthy. You're getting role players. Reggie Jackson showed up last night wearing sunglasses inside for some reason. I'm still not 100% sure I understand why.
Or maybe he had a Jeremy Greene night. Maybe he was a little hungover.
Possibly. He was wearing eye protection. Okay, I understand that. Goggles make sense. What I don't understand is you're wearing Oakley shades. What up? And it just worked.
Mm-hmm.
It was really never in doubt.
Yep. It is so much fun watching Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray play that two-man back and forth. Just who's going to take their shot? Oh, you're going to switch over here? Okay. Well, here, Jamal, you have it.
Oh, and by the way, I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about where Miami took. The biggest lead they had in the entire game was 5, and that was early.
Was it 5?
I think they led by 3 at one point. And maybe it got to 4. I don't remember. I
just remember
watching. Do you know what
it.
the rebound numbers were last night? This is the most telling stat you'll ever see in your life.
Well, it had to be a whole lot to a very little.
58-33.
There you go.
I don't know that I've ever seen an NBA team do that to another team, let alone do it in the finals. Because Nikola Jokic is a wall. Every shot that came off, he doesn't even have to jump. Just mine. I'm going to have that, and there's nothing you can do about it.
It's like Jeremy out there rebounded against a bunch of high school freshmen.
It's a weird way to say fourth graders, but that's because that's what it looked like. Oh, look, you're jumping. I don't have to do that. You just, I want the ball. Yeah, I don't care. I don't even care a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's with Michael Porter being genuinely awful. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope being a complete afterthought. I mean, he was on the floor. I saw his number a few times. Didn't matter. Aaron Gordon as the primary defender. Jimmy Butler is having to work to get him off of him because he's having to run the high ball screen. And then, he winds up on Murray. It doesn't matter. He's having to work so hard on the defensive side. I mean, I will say he was good, not great. And it didn't matter. This game was never close. Kevin Love, you can't have him on the floor. I said that after game 1. You can't have him on the floor. They played in game 2. He stretches things out, starts hitting some threes, did it last night. Denver didn't care. Because you don't have anybody that you can guard. Because that's the part that I haven't heard anybody say today, is when the game started out, they were running a low post screen to get Adebayo off of Nikola Jokic and put him on Kevin Love, and he was beating him like a small child. I don't know what you're supposed to do with that. You don't have another player that can legitimately match up with this gigantic human being. So what is the adjustment? I don't think there is one. And then you get effort like you get out of Christian Brown. What are you supposed to do with that? I knew when I think he came in he hit a 3, and then immediately on the defensive side tips one away and goes in for a layup, and that's when I went, this could get ugly. Denver's going to win, but it could get very, very bad.
Mm-hmm. Last part of the second half of the game, it just appeared obvious to me that Denver has all that confidence, whereas the public had little confidence that Denver was going to close. I mean, we talked about it yesterday, how the public narrative seemed to have shifted of, Miami. And then Denver just had that swagger last night.
They just shut you up.
Yeah.
Like, we've heard it. You're disrespecting us again. And that's what I said yesterday about the last 3 times I've seen Denver get punched in the mouth. They come out in the next game and just embarrass you. It is incredibly impressive. In our YouTube comments, Jason Trump asked, real question, can Jeremy jump more than 6 inches off the ground? Yes. Tank can verify this. It is actually alarming how malleable I am at 36 years old.
Absolutely. I saw him jump at least, 12 inches off the ground when he saw that raccoon that one time.
You throw a varmint and I'll jump aggressively. I almost jumped over my couch last night. I don't remember what the foul call was, but there was one that just drove me nuts. And listening to Jeff Van Gundy, you are a mediocre coach, and you might somehow be worse of a commentator. Well, that should be a flagrant foul. For what? By the way, can we stop with the I've been shot every time somebody gets anywhere near you? There's got to be something to do about that.
I mean, I would think so.
Gabe Vincent shot a 3 last night. And I don't remember who the foul was on. He literally fell out like somebody in the crowd had shot him in the back. They show it from another angle. Not only was he not touched, there was a solid 6 inches between that player and his back.
Right. I was going to say, were you thinking of the moment in the game where I believe it was Vincent, quote unquote, threw an elbow into Jokic?
Oh, yeah, that one didn't get acknowledged. I'm talking about when Jamal Murray, late in the game, gets trapped on the corner. He's just trying to clear out. And Caleb Martin falls out like he's been shot. Mm-hmm. Oh, weird. His elbow grazed your forearm.
Right.
So you're a manly man or you're the worst actor I've ever seen in my life.
Well, see, I thought that about Jokic, and I think this was early in the game. It might have been second quarter, might have been right after halftime. Because you know me, I can't make it to the fourth quarter. But, I think it was Vincent that there was contact where his elbow kind of touched Jokic on the back, and Jokic just fell out. And I went, come on, dude. You're almost 7 feet tall.
Well, you got to remember, I've been doing this with Denver for a minute. One of Jokic's biggest problems in the before times was that nothing that any of these guys do really affect him. So he never got foul calls. Mm-hmm. It's literally somebody had to be hanging on him for him to get a foul call. And I don't know who finally told him, hey, this is how this game's played.
Right.
And now you have, anytime he's touched, he feels the urge to just flail out.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
I got to make it look like it was an impact.
Take where you started and where you are now, and maybe fall somewhere in the middle.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure you were consistent on this.
Oh, no doubt. I would argue, other than LeBron James, Jokic might be the biggest flailer in the league.
Okay.
Oh, I'll admit that readily.
All right.
He's also making up for years of, I actually think somebody stabbed him, and he still didn't get a foul call.
Right. I think not only is it really cool that two guys had triple-doubles in the same game, but I think it's saying something that they both had 30-point triple-doubles in the same game. And
even if Jamal Murray's last rebound was a little, we'll say she was a little suspect.
I got to give it to him.
Every Denver Nugget player went, nope, I'm not touching that. That's yours.
Give it to him.
You go get that.
Let him have it. Give him the Russell Westbrook treatment. Remember
curious,
how many times that happened during the triple-double year?
I'll never forget Russell Westbrook missing a layup on purpose just to get his own rebound.
Yes, I remember that as well. It's the best 1-2 punch in the league. You know, I mean,
no doubt.
Who was it? I can't remember what wrestler said it, but, learn to love it because it's the best thing going today.
No doubt.
I mean, this is the Denver Nuggets. This is the 2023 Denver Nuggets. And I'll be honest with you, if you're not talking about Nikola Jokic as the best player in the NBA yet, I don't know what's going to do it for you.
No, and people have all day been trying to rain on my parade with, well, he's just big, or Miami's just not good. Yeah, you're not seeing this for what it is. There was a play last night. It was a give and go, maybe with Murray, where he gives it to Jokic at the top of the key. The ball never even actually hit the palm of his hand. He just immediately threw a perfect bounce pass through the lane for a layup. And I just looked at HWA and went, there's no beating that. There's not a defense for that. He knows where he's going, and the pass is coming in before you even have the chance to react to what he's already done, let alone what he's getting ready to do. It's indefensible basketball, and it's a beautiful thing to watch.
I apologize, Sloan. So that was a Ric Flair thing. I can't remember all of the catchphrases, okay?
He said your North Carolina card was revoked, and frankly,
that's fine.
To be the man, you got to beat the man. And I don't think Miami's beating the man anytime soon.
See, that was Ric Flair.
Woo!
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there, and around there, and even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Haley, quote, Navage is the best thing I bought. I love it. My nose feels so clear now and I can breathe. I've been struggling with a stuffy nose for weeks. I bought Navage and it's amazing. Or this one. I use Navage every night, could not imagine life without it. I have 5 cats, and before I found Navage, I was a clogged mess. Now I breathe so much better, unquote. Those are 2 of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
I'm Israel Gutierrez. I'm hosting a new podcast called 4 Years of Heat. It takes you to Miami from 2010 to 2014. When LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade set the NBA ablaze.
Have an opportunity to team up with the best trio to ever play the game of basketball.
We'll take you inside those 4 monumental years with behind-the-scenes access and insight about one of the greatest teams ever assembled. 4 Years of Heat on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The following is a message from the future, sent by Jamie from Progressive.
Back in 2023, you could get help from Progressive online, through our mobile app, or over the phone. But here, in the future, we can communicate with you through telepathy. Now, I don't think anyone in 2023 has mastered telepathy yet, but if you have, then you can totally read my thoughts right now. And yes, I did leave the oven on. Wow, you're good at this.
That was a message from the future. Get the help you need today with Progressive.
Do you smell smoke? I really should go.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers.
So much of life these days is rushing around from one place to another. Sometimes you just want to enjoy the journey on the way to the destination. And part of what makes it a little more enjoyable is an appreciation for the folks who help you get there. At Ingles, we know that the people who send you on your way are the same ones who keep you coming back.
I think you should take it for a spin.
Are you serious? Ingles, all the ingredients for family.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Our communities are filled with wonderful people who make living here great. At Home Trust Bank, We're proud of that, and that's why we focus on helping homeowners prepare for what's next. Our local mortgage bankers have the experience you need and exceptional personal service you'll appreciate. Home Trust Bank is ready to help make a house your home. When it's time to buy, visit your local Home Trust branch or go to htb.com/mortgage.
Socracy.
We're just dumb.
Game 3 of the NBA Finals is in the books. The Denver Nuggets now have a 2-1 lead on the Miami Heat. We will have game 4 of the series. We got to wait another week for that?
Tomorrow.
Do we?
This is we finally use some common sense and go, we only need 1 day off.
There we go. I guess you need extra time to travel in the NBA. I don't know why.
Well,
but
you're not traveling this time. Game 4 is in Miami. And second verse, much the same as the first.
It's the same as the first. Well, makes me wonder, yet again, is this brand of basketball good for the NBA?
I think it's good for the purist because now the guys, well, nobody plays any defense in the NBA. Nobody passes. It's just a bunch of Euro steps and travels. That's not what you're saying here. I also think there's a possibility that this is for a different reason.
Okay.
Denver has an element of that or you really don't like negative. Which is pity. There's nothing to the way he plays.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Welch is on this all day long. If he's not good, it's just no start him. How many times we have ass like this? We have a show that doesn't matter. Just
basically the mainstream more because it's the sexy thing to do. If everybody is telling you that this guy is the best in basketball and you're going, wait, I watch him and he looks like an overgrown toddler out on the court sometimes. Like if you've just ever noticed the way he moves, like there's no artistry to it. Like he's never going to be the logo for anything athletic. No. I mean, this guy just looks like he's plodding up and down. His hands kind of hang by his side when he runs down the court sometimes. It's like, I'm almost expecting him to do that little thing where the kids run down and they just slapping themselves in the chest with their hands. Like, I mean,
Jokic does have
ridiculous.
Jokic does have a look at my shoes, they make me run fast element to the way he.
And we're used to in
he's
the
got
NBA,
a very kid-like. It's hard to explain, but I think it's good for this league.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know that he's a polarizing figure enough to drive hatred numbers
My Twitter
like LeBron
DMs
does.
Not like LeBron, no.
No.
He draws more hate than Giannis.
Sure.
He draws more hate than Giannis. He draws more hate than Embiid. There are, to me, there's just not a lot of villains left in the NBA a year or two from now.
Mm-hmm.
And I see the makings. And you may say I'm a homer. You may say I'm just a fan here. But they're going to run through the West for several years. I mean, I'm not telling you they're going to win 4 NBA titles. They're going to be involved as long as these guys stay healthy for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
And every year that you see them, then you start to get you get tired of it. And that's when I think you'll start seeing the real hatred.
Right.
They're catching more hate right now than any team I've ever seen their first time in the finals. Milwaukee, everybody was low-key like, yeah, Milwaukee, go win one.
And is any of that because of who they are? Is any of that
I think it's because
of the
there's a lot
name?
of apathy to this team because they play on the West Coast.
Right, but I was going to say, is that because of the name on the front of the jersey?
Yes.
Not names on the back of the jersey. We look at this and we
yes,
go,
but you can.
We live in a world where the Denver Nuggets are going to win a championship?
Hey, you stop that. You stop saying that
No,
way.
no. You know me. I'm all on the Denver bandwagon here. I picked them to win just like you did, but
you didn't quite pick them to win like I did.
No, well,
I started
you
a
started 3 years
presidential term ago.
Right.
So okay,
it's been 3 years that you've been calling for this to happen, but
my call is seeking re-election in the fall. So yeah,
I mean, I guess you would have said the same thing about Milwaukee, but at least they had a superstar that moved the needle, that gave you the highlights. I mean, we talked about this as well with Jokic. I mean, he doesn't give you the prettiest dunks and Showtime moments.
He doesn't have the dunks. He also shot a one from the elbow last night where his entire body was pointing at the bench, and it still somehow went in.
He did, but
that's a highlight play.
Yeah. Is it, though?
It is.
Does that trend on TikTok? I don't think it does. I don't think you can get people on InstaFace
I think you
to
just
share
killed
that
TikTok.
with their friends.
The way you just said that, I think you killed TikTok. And the day after Matt Rife breaks the internet is probably a good time to do that.
I still have no idea who that is.
Yes, you do. I've shown him to you. He is hilarious. And some of the things he says, I go, I don't know how you got away with that. But I respect you for it.
Yeah, I have no idea who this guy is. I've heard y'all talking about him.
He's a comedian that he started on Wild 'N Out with Nick Cannon.
This is why I don't know who he is.
I was getting there. Then he's really grown his popularity with TikTok and Facebook Reels. And yesterday he announced a 115-date tour. And I don't know who's doing his social media, but just game respects game. That's impressive. I saw that kid's face no less than 200 times yesterday.
I saw it 3 times, and every time I saw it, it was either you saying, Matt Rife owns social media, and I went, who the hell is Matt Rife? And then I saw an ad pop up because obviously my phone, everybody's phone
Matt
does that
Rife
thing.
is the guy that did the joke with the girl in the crowd whose mom played in the WNBA. That is Matt Rife.
Okay, I have heard that joke. I don't know that I've ever seen him deliver it, but I have heard that joke, and that is hilarious.
Virtually his
I'm not
entire
trying to say
act
the
is-
guy's not funny. I'm not trying to say the
he's
guy's not
hilarious.
talented. I'm just saying I have no idea who he is. And all of a sudden yesterday, everybody's like, oh, my God. Like I saw somebody post one of those marked safe from memes today, marked safe from the Matt Rife ticket giveaway. And the quote was, well, thank God, because I still have no idea who that guy is. You got a social media, I guess, to know who Matt Rife is.
Yeah, who's shocked that Tank doesn't.
No, I don't.
The tickets are also just outrageously expensive. Nobody can get them. They're selling through as soon as they're going out.
Still don't get it, but okay.
Oh, I do. That dude is hilarious. I have been a comedian for a long time, and I look at that dude and go, there is no way I'd have said that out loud. and you have seen enough of my stand-up to know I don't pull many punches.
No, you don't.
That dude makes me look timid, and I respect that.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM at 1400. We'll come back. We'll get just a bit outside.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Times of smoke in the forecast coming all the way down from the Canadian wildfires. Air quality alerts across the Carolinas here for late week. We're in the mid-40s in the valley tonight, and we'll keep some hazy sunshine around tomorrow. Periods of smoke, high 76 degrees, low 80s on Saturday. Rain showers, thunderstorms showing up early next week. That'll clean out the atmosphere some Sunday, Monday, highs in the 70s. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. During Staples Small Business Deal Days, you save 50% when you buy any combination of 5 or more boxes, mailers, and shipping tubes. Offer ends July 1st. Exclusions apply. Not valid in Concord, New Hampshire location. Prices may vary. Keep your business running right and save at Staples.
We see some patients who come in and they have been in just so much pain for so long that they are just deflated.
But that's about to change because QC Kinetics provides hope for relief using all new regenerative treatments that concentrate your body's own healing properties into aching hips, back, shoulders, and knees. And Dr. Zuckerman, a medical director at QC Kinetics, loves watching the patient transformations.
One of the most amazing things is when I get to see a patient who, after a few months of our treatments, is just a completely different person. They are smiling and happy, and the weight of the world is off their shoulders because we were able to take away their pain.
And that's with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime.
It's just amazing to be able to change people's lives like that. It's very gratifying.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
She's moving to Georgia.
Jadis Podiatry Clinic's top nurse quit, leaving her business toes up.
We've got 6 procedures and 3 major surgeries in the next 2 days.
She needs a new RN who can think on their feet.
There's no way I can do all these procedures on my own.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
For more information about contests on the station, log on to ESPNAVL.com.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. Tried the corner and missed.
It is the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, and I have just wanted to bring you this story ever since it broke yesterday because, I mean, they're just putting it all out there. This is one of those scenarios.
There's one specific person in this.
There's one specific person putting it all out there, but I mean, let's face it. Everybody's played their role in this, right?
It sounds like one of them played a very specific role.
We're talking about the biggest draft bust in NBA history, Zion Williamson. Well, Zion, he's Congratulations. He and his girlfriend,
One of
fiance,
them.
whatever you want to call her, the one that he is apparently open about, they're having a baby. So they posted a gender reveal yesterday on social media, to which
it's a bold strategy, Cotton, when you find out the second part of this story.
Zion's other girlfriend, who apparently thinks that they have an exclusive relationship, has jumped in here, and she responded to the video with some things that we can't say on this here radio show.
No, we cannot. It's some nefarious actions that...
Let's just put it this way. So the girlfriend, she works in the adult film industry.
Correct.
And apparently at some point yesterday, I don't know if it was before the video of the gender reveal or after the gender reveal, she shared screenshots of where Zion had sent her text messages.
She didn't share screenshots. She showed photos of screenshots.
Oh, that is true.
That is a very specific, because she shared photos of screenshots. A, I want to know what she took those pictures with. B, I want to know why she took them on a cracked Android. I need that explained to me. The math ain't math in here.
Fair. It was pictures of a screen that had the messages
get your
on
screen fixed. Come on now. The screen protector's like $20. Let's go.
Anyway, Mariah Mills is her name, and she was sharing information with us that you wouldn't normally see. Things like Zion apparently texting her saying, hey, come on and move down here, and, promising her the world, basically. And she's very upset. Like, did you not think that I was going to find out about this
that's
other
my
woman
question.
if I moved to New Orleans?
If you were trying to move them both to New Orleans, you're actually lucky that this is playing out on Instagram, because it could have played out in your backyard. I am not saying that.
You might have had more of a shot to keep this a little under wraps here.
Well, it also a much better shot to have to run. And I'm not saying that from experience. I'm also not saying it not from experience.
Although keeping things under wraps is apparently not what Zion does, because Mariah says she may be pregnant as well.
But make them laugh, make them laugh.
And now, and man, she was taking shots at Zion for being fat, which I thought was hilarious. Saying that the reason he had gained all the weight is because the girl that he's with is toxic, and apparently they have had discussions behind this girl's back about the toxic relationship and all of that. I mean, look, in the end, does it really matter? Is this the worst thing anybody's ever done? No.
No, but I can tell you definitively, yesterday at the Williamson's household, Zion had a bad day. I'm not saying I have experience here. I'm just saying when those Instagrams come out, there is an uncomfortable conversation that had to be had.
Absolutely. You mean this is what I get when we announce our upcoming baby? Yeah, the girlfriend's not going to be too happy about that.
Well,
the mistress, not so much either.
It's ironic that you felt the urge to tell that story, because I have a similar story that's not getting nearly the publicity, and it's about one of our own, Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman's married. Did you know that? I did not know that.
I mean, I don't really care, but okay.
I had absolutely no idea. He's married to a woman named Catherine, who is the niece of Jerry Jones. She's related to Jerry Jones somehow.
Okay.
Well, that's an important piece of information if you've been following old Troy on Instagram, because he's on vacation in Italy with his new girlfriend, whose name is Haley Clark. I don't know how good you are at English, but Haley and Catherine, that's not the same name.
No.
And that ain't the same person either. He never announced, hey, we got divorced or anything like that. Apparently, in his infinite wisdom, he went, let's just throw pictures on Instagram. It'll be fine. And secret time, it wasn't fun. It's not going well for Troy.
So he's still in the relationship with Catherine.
We don't really know.
Okay.
I can't because these pictures with this Haley Clark lady who, okay, she's an Instagram influencer and she's 24 years younger than him.
Mm-hmm.
You did okay.
All the things that a Hall of Fame quarterback's girlfriend should be.
100%. Yeah. Troy, your life's easier than the life of many of us. Some of us hate you. But there's been no reporting from Catherine. There's been nothing from Troy Aikman. They just posted these pictures, and they're very obviously together. Let's put it that way.
All right. Here's the thing. I don't care. I mean, I honestly don't. Like, listen, if he's still together with Catherine, then, that's something that they need to work out together. I don't really care who you're dating. I just could you keep this? Could you keep the drama out of my feed?
Well, you don't have a feed.
Well, I mean, I do. It just doesn't include Matt Stifler or whatever his name is.
Matt Rife.
Yeah, that guy.
I may end up regretting that I asked this question. What does your timeline include? So when Tank logs into TikTok, what is he being inundated with? Is it just a series of middle-aged men grilling in their white New Balances? Like, that's good meat right there. Hey, whoop.
Actually, the weird part is it's
right
a whole lot of comedians, but I've never seen that Matt Rife guy.
Which is almost hard to believe.
Right. It's a whole lot of that dry bar comedy club and, of course, every video that Bert Kreischer has to show his naked arse in for some reason.
Friend of the program.
Yeah,
Bert Kreischer.
absolutely. I like everything else he does, but when you put the nudity on my phone, I'm not real comfortable with it. I can do the shirt thing, but stop showing up with the bottom half. Like, I don't need to see all that. I get it.
I'm glad it's not my shtick, and I'm really glad it's not your shtick.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, no, it's that and old baseball highlights. If you're shocked.
Yep, that doesn't surprise me at all. Thanks, getting inundated with the 1988 Kansas City Royals.
Yeah.
Which basically means I could pick your phone up and within 13 seconds just.
All in all. This whole segment comes down to I don't care who you're dating.
Nope.
I don't care who you cheated on or what. When it comes down to these guys, the only thing I care about is, are you on the floor, on the field? Are you playing? Let's go. And when it comes to Zion, he's playing, just not basketball.
Bill Buttigieg with a very early entry into comment of the day. Tank dresses like he writes his name on the orange juice. He 100% does.
Okay.
It's my orange juice. It's got extra pulp, and you can't have any of it. I bought pulpless for you.
Pulpless.
You drink orange juice with pulp in it?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't care.
I do. That is one of those. I don't even understand why that exists.
Little giblets floating in it.
I don't even understand why that exists. I want juice. I don't want soup. Give me juice.
I don't want soup. I've never cared either way.
Sloan Jordan Tank dresses like he actually bought those shirts from Facebook ads. I'm enjoying this. Throw out your best Tank dresses like, and Jeremy will keep reading them and laughing aggressively.
I don't even know why I keep showing up here to do this.
I'm not going to lie. I've wondered myself.
He's like, I've been trying to drive you away
Tank
for 2 years.
Tank
and
shows
you keep
up.
showing up.
Tank just shows up, catches all the flack, goes home, and whistles on his way home. Just another great day at the office.
Who's shocked? Who's shocked that professional athletes or former professional athletes with gobs and gobs of money are in demand with the ladies? Yeah, and they may or may not be loyal to one of them at a time.
Well, the Troy Aikman story certainly shouldn't surprise you because this is he has done this at least 3 times that I know of with celebrities. So, I mean, I can't say as though I'm shocked.
It is the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. And, well,
it finally happened.
We've got what happened?
Dalvin Cook. T's and P's Dalvin Cook. It only took him like a week and a half to finally
give up.
Well, we're going to release him if we don't trade him by the end of the day. Well, you're not gonna.
Right. Why would you? Why would anybody trade for him when they know you're going to be cutting him loose? But now the question is, does Dalvin Cook play an integral part of a contending team?
I think so.
If he goes to the Miami Dolphins.
Can we stop with the Miami thing? Miami makes no sense.
Okay, why?
Because you've got 4 running backs. You just drafted one.
But are any of them Dalvin Cook?
I don't think Dalvin Cook is as good at this point as people are making him out to be. B, you've got a lot of money. You've got 3 roster spots. The only reason people keep saying Miami is, yes, he would probably be a good fit in that offense, and because he's from South Florida.
Okay.
Went to Florida State. That's the only thing that makes any sense. There are 2 places that make real sense to me. Third could, but I don't see it.
Okay.
Philadelphia would be the one that I go, it would make sense, but I don't think. With DeAndre Swift and Rashad Penny, it's just you've got a combination of guys that, well, none of them stay healthy, but you have guys. The Jets make sense. The Buffalo Bills make sense.
But why do the Jets make sense? You have 4 running backs.
To take the workload off of Breece Hall. You've got, yes, you have multiple running backs, but they're all situational guys. Michael Carter's pass catcher. Zonovan Knight was fine, but he's a 4th running back in this league.
Yeah.
You don't have the guy that's going to really take a workload off Breece Hall. And then Buffalo's the contender that I see an actual legit spot for you to be an impact player, and your brother already plays there. Outside of that, I don't see a ton. Now, you got Ezekiel Elliott. I don't think anybody's called him about 2 months. And I'm not saying that he and Dalvin Cook belong in the same sentence, because they don't. Veteran running back market is just never going to be as significant as you think. This is another one of those times that fantasy football really sways the way people look at things, because he's great for your fantasy team. And yes, he's put up some yards. He's also horribly inconsistent. He's had some injury issues. He needs to be a part of a committee at this point. He's not a 22-touch-a-game guy. I think he would be a nice asset for the Jets. I think he'd be a really nice asset for the Bills.
Okay.
If I'm Buffalo, I would be calling Dalvin Cook long before I called DeAndre Hopkins.
So the report, you are under the impression that the report that Miami is interested in him is not true. People are just interested in putting him in Miami.
I will say they probably have interest, and it's going to be Buffalo and Kansas City with DeAndre Hopkins. They're going to find out the number and go, oh, we're not that interested.
Right.
Name me the last time one of these San Francisco disciples ever paid that kind of money to a running back outside of Christian McCaffrey, who's just a different animal. Outside of that, they've all had these great big rotations. I even partially struggle to believe that the Jets would do it. I just keep hearing it from people that know that team even better than I do.
Right.
And now you've got Nathaniel Hackett, which means you're not running exactly that same system that you've been running in the past. So, yes, you do have a San Francisco disciple coach, but it's not like you're running that Mike McDaniel offense.
Dalvin Cook, going to be a free agent at some point soon. They said by the end of the day today, if they haven't been able to trade him, that the Minnesota Vikings will be cutting him loose. Yes, Miami's in that discussion, and as you heard Jeremy say, the Jets and the Bills. I've also heard the Denver Broncos may be interested.
Ugh. That was Samaje Perine and
Javonte.
Yeah, I'm good. And, I'm not saying I don't get it. I'm good. I'm not going to do that. However, what people are doing is throwing things in the comment that starts with Tank dresses like
good
blank.
Lord.
And some really good ones here. Stephen Tout, Tank dresses like mayonnaise is too spicy. That math doesn't math because Tank puts mayonnaise on everything.
I did.
He's one of those that makes gross ketchup, mayonnaise concoctions to put on his French fries.
Love it.
Oh. You also put ranch and ketchup, which is stop that. It's gross. Sloan Jordan tank dresses like he saw the Wiggles live before he had kids. That might be my favorite one I've seen so far.
I do like that.
Oh, Colin Greene. Oh, no. Is it popped up on your screen yet? It's obviously going to momentarily.
Yeah, maybe. All right. Oh, yep, there it is. Saw it. Ouch.
I always love when we turn things on Tank.
Now you're just being mean.
And the hate flows through you. Tank dress in West Virginia, Willie. Tank dresses like the retirement home solitaire master.
It's true. You play a lot of solitaire.
Tank dresses like he can actually explain to you how to play Minesweeper.
Yeah, that one I never got.
Minesweeper?
Yeah.
Minesweeper.
Just guess.
It's not just guess. It's telling you how many mines are touching the box.
Oh, I mean, I get it, but it's mostly a guess.
You didn't have it's not a guess.
The first one is.
Well, yeah. That's why you go in the corner.
How many times have I opened that little they didn't even call them applications back then. You just open that program, click on the first thing, it explodes. You go, okay, this is stupid. I don't want to play this game anymore.
Tank dresses like he tucks his shirt into his underwear. I've actually never seen you tuck a shirt in.
I don't.
I've seen you do formal occasions, but I've never seen you dress formally.
Nope.
You
can get me in a button-down shirt.
That's the best you're going to do. Do you own a tie?
I do. I have two ties.
That might be the saddest thing that you have two ties. Is one red and one's blue?
No, one of them is black with like silver squares on it or something. I don't know. I've worn my ties literally like twice.
Tank showed up to my wedding wearing a pair of Jordans, which that's fine.
I bought a tie for a job interview in 2001, and I've never bought another one, if that tells you anything.
You really missed a calling. Like, you should be coaching middle school PE or something.
It's probably what I'm going to do when this thing ends. Just,
yeah, find a place that doesn't make me put on big boy clothes to come to work.
Do a push-up, kid.
Oh, yeah, Tank is a gym teacher. You first. Lawyered.
Detention!
At Ingles, we know that Dad doesn't always get the most attention. So this Father's Day, join us in giving the dads their due, along with the neckties, golf balls, and funny cards. We love you, dads, every day of the year.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
ESPN Asheville has your chance to win a $7,500 garage makeover from Carolina Closets, the perfect Father's Day present. Just log on now to ESPNAVL.com and search under contest, and you can register to win.
Fellas, stop treating your groin like junk. Introducing the Gillette Intimate Pubic Hair Trimmer, a gentle and easy shave from America's #1 trusted men's grooming brand. Respect your pubic region with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Meet Joe A, Joe B, and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect. Support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
She's moving to Georgia.
Jada's Podiatry Clinic's top nurse quit, leaving her business toes up.
We've got 6 procedures and 3 major surgeries in the next 2 days.
She needs a new RN who can think on their feet.
There's no way I can do all these procedures on my own.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Coffee's the closer's on. Get them the money.
Then when you get the money, you get the power.
That watch costs more than your car.
Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
I hope you listened to me yesterday and you didn't overreact to game 2 and you took Mullet Jokic and Jamal Murray, the first tandem to ever have cooperative triple doubles in a finals game. Because my 2023 NBA champion Denver Nuggets are going to make me look smart and close this in 5. Because let's be honest, they have absolutely no solution for Nikola Jokic. But they're off tonight, so we turn back to the world of hockey. This is Greene on Greene, brought to you by Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the savings. Okay, this series has looked really non-competitive for 4 of the 6 periods so far in the Stanley Cup. But hear me out. The last 12 times that a team has lost the first 2 games of a series in the NHL playoffs and then gone home, they're 10-2 in game 3. Also, Florida, much better at home than they are on the road. You can say I'm getting Charlie Browned and Lucy's going to pull the football out from underneath me. And if it happens, then you don't ever have to worry about me taking Florida again. But I'm falling for it tonight. Give me the Florida Panthers minus the 120 to win outright, and I'll go under 6 goals. If this gets high scoring, I'm already on the wrong side of this anyway, because Florida can't out-physical a very large Vegas Golden Knights team. So if this gets really scory, I'm probably on the wrong side of it. But I'm rolling with the Panthers and under the 6. For more, find us on all the social medias at The Sportsocracy. And as always, love the savings with Ingles, love the winnings with me. Mullet out.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Times of smoke in the forecast coming all the way down from the Canadian wildfires. Air quality alerts across the Carolinas here for late week. We're in the mid-40s in the valley tonight, and we'll keep some hazy sunshine around tomorrow. Periods of smoke, high 76 degrees, low 80s on Saturday. Rain showers, thunderstorms showing up early next week. That'll clean out the atmosphere some Sunday, Monday, highs in the 70s. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
The Dell Technologies Summer Sale event starts now with savings on select Vostro and Latitude PCs with Windows 11 Pro. Plus save on select monitors and accessories and get free shipping on everything. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Call it Dell Technologies Advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
The new Raid Essentials Light Trap uses light to attract, then trap flying insects like fruit flies and mosquitoes, turning your home into restricted airspace. For insecticide-free protection that's people and pet-friendly, get new Raid Essentials Light Trap.
Wendy's is open till midnight or later, so you can give in to the craving and go night mode. Now all of your favorite menu items just got their bedtime extended. You can get what you want even later, like the Baconator with 6 strips of bacon, or the perfect fries and frosty duo. If you're up later, then so are we. So go ahead and pull through the drive-thru. When the craving hits, go night mode at Wendy's. Open till midnight or later. All right, see ya later.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary.
This September, our iHeartRadio Music Festival is coming back to Las Vegas.
September 22nd and 23rd at T-Mobile Arena.
Streaming live only on Hulu. Tickets go on sale Friday, June 16th at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. But starting Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, Capital One cardholders can score tickets and other awesome experiences before anyone else for 48 hours only or while pre-sale tickets last.
Visit iHeartRadio.com/Capital One for more pre-sale details.
What's in your wallet?
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the Vikings plan to cut running back Dalvin Cook if they can't work out a trade today. Cook has spent 6 years in Minnesota. Thanks to Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray becoming the first teammates to each have a 30-point triple-double in the same game, Denver now leads the NBA Finals 2-1. But our Kendrick Perkins says he's impressed in a more basic way by Jokic.
You know the crazy thing about it is that he never gets tired. We don't give him no credit on how he's in great shape. He never gets tired. That's amazing, man.
Kendrick Perkins on Fitz and Harry. Game 4 tomorrow night on ESPN Radio and ABC TV. Dodgers right-hander Noah Syndergaard will be out at least a few weeks with a blister on his right hand and to get an emotional and mental reset. Syndergaard is 1-4 this season. At the French Open today, unseeded Karolina Muchova beats the 2-seed Arina Sabalenka in the semifinals. She'll play the top seed Iga Swiatek.
Is your summer staffing situation significantly scarce? Then you need Indeed. Their powerful all-in-one hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Want to find your next great hire? Visit Indeed.com/credit.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
Somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy, presented by Ingles Supermarkets.
This is the Sportsocracy, and you're listening on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400, or you've got us everywhere you go with the iHeartRadio app. You can also see us live in the Ingles studio on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link in the middle of the page, subscribe to the channel, and join us in the chat. And you too can get in on all of the fun of Tank dresses like blank.
Sloan Jordan with our most recent contribution. Tank dresses like he kept all of his fat clothes, quote, just in case.
Because that's what you do.
But no, it's not. It's just another layer of Stephen Tout.
Because you never know.
This might be my favorite one so far. Stephen Tout, Tank dresses like he still has his Blockbuster card. Is your Blockbuster card in your wallet right now?
No, it's not.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Where is it?
I don't have one.
You never had one?
I mean, I had one.
Okay.
But I got rid of it years ago.
I was about to be like, well, you didn't have a Blockbuster card. What were you doing with your life?
Everybody had a Blockbuster card.
I still possess a Blockbuster card.
Do you?
I have a really bad habit of, it's not that I'm paranoid, but I don't get rid of anything that's been in my wallet. Identity theft, it's got my name on it. I don't do it.
And you can cut that stuff up.
I could, but see, in my head, there's some rogue hobo that scourges across the dump to find things to piece back together like a jigsaw puzzle.
Mm-hmm. That's why you throw them in different trash cans.
So instead, I just keep them in a cabinet in my house.
That's what I always do. If you have to cut up a credit card or something, like you cut it up into 1,000 little pieces, and then you just throw handfuls of it in each trash can in the house, and then you never know. It's never going to be all together, because the trash that goes out in the kitchen, that's going out today. The trash that goes in the bathroom, that may not go out until Friday. Who knows?
Thought about that real hard, didn't you?
I did. I mean, more than, oh my gosh, my name is on the back of a Blockbuster card. Whatever will I do? Why would you keep that? I mean, does it have the imprint of your debit card on it?
Yeah, it could.
And that's why you've held on to it for so long?
It's quite a sizable arse that sat upon it. So I'm going to say there's a possibility.
It's time to cut the cord, Jeremy. You got to get rid of the Blockbuster card.
You never know. You could come back.
Why don't you burn it?
I could burn it.
You could burn it.
I do like burning things.
See?
But now I don't have a place to do that. I live in a condo.
Smoke cigars on your patio, don't you?
I do.
Well, see, there you go.
It's a formidable point that you have.
Wow, I think Jeremy is as much fun of me as you make for being old. Like,
yes,
but you're the one that has the Blockbuster card.
Tank dresses like he wears a wrist brace to play skee ball. See, nobody says
wrist brace.
Nobody says those things about me. Although if we did one of these about me, I don't think we could say many of the responses on FCC radio.
No, sir. No, sir. It's the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. And yesterday we unveiled for you our new expansion teams, the 33rd and 34th teams added to the NFL, the Tennessee Top Hats, run by Jeremy Greene, and my Beer City Battalion. We picked our GMs and our coaches yesterday, and today we have begun the expansion draft. Now, Jeremy, you're going to have to explain this to the audience in a manner that's not going to bore them to death, because you explained it to me, and I'm not even sure I still understand the rules. So
every NFL team had to expose 6 players. So can't turn my mic off. We basically have a pool of 200 players, 6 from each franchise. Once a player is selected, they can pull one back. Once a second player is selected, they can pull them all back. And we have to select 25 players to build the base of our franchises. So over the course of the next few days, it's exactly what we're going to do. Because it's June, and I don't want to talk about baseball. Because there's a better chance you know who Kenny Nwangwu is than you know who the starter for the AL in the All-Star game is.
Indeed. Do we know who that is yet?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Don't care. It could be John Travolta for all I care.
It's pretty early for that, but okay. Maybe you know something I don't.
I mean, it's only a month away. We could probably assume. Not gonna.
And Jeremy, you had the first pick.
Yes. So the way this works, we did it exactly like Carolina and Jacksonville did. That was the last time we had 2 teams come in at the same time. So whoever picked first in the expansion draft, which is me, will pick second in the NFL draft. So that means Tank will have the number 1 pick in the draft. And yes, that does have something to do with your strategy in this. And I'm going to level. So I built the player pool. Every team had 6 slots. If you've got a really bad contract, like, I don't know, Russell Wilson, he's in there. I wouldn't touch him. There is nothing you could do that would make me draft him.
Yeah, not a chance.
Other quarterbacks in it, Matthew Stafford, Kyler Murray, Jameis Winston, Matt Corral, the 3rd quarterback from Carolina that they took in the draft last year. Kellen Mond, Malik Willis, Case Keenum, Mitchell Trubisky, Ryan Tannehill, Sam Ehlinger. There are more intricate rules to it. Every player that went into the pool had to be under contract for 2024. So you couldn't just load up with expiring contracts. You could only put in 1 player that had been in the league for more than 10 years. You could only put in 1 long snapper or fullback and no kickers or punters.
Mm-hmm.
And all of those rules came directly from the last time we did this.
All right, so going by this formula, we came up with a pool of 192 players.
Correct.
That qualify.
Now, there's one thing that I had to adjust because it's a problem in the NFL now that was not a problem 27 years ago when we did this.
Mm-hmm.
Dead money. There is an exception that you can put a player in if you have dead money that carries on. So if you've got dead money that carries over, and there's not as many of those as you think. Those void years are not as big a deal with players that you would subject to this. There were a handful. If that is the case, the dead money becomes their contract number in 2024. So you have to pay all of it in 1 year, which is why I will probably not be drafting any of those players. There are a couple.
Mm-hmm.
It was at least worth mentioning.
All right, with the first pick in the 2023 Sportsocracy fictional expansion draft, the Tennessee Top Hats.
Well, I mean, and we wanted to make this as accurate as we could. If you look back over the years, there have been some high-end names that got drafted. There's some high-end names in this draft pool. Von Miller's in it, Khalil Mack's in it. There are some big names in this because teams are looking to get rid of big contracts. I have very little interest in taking those deals on. There is one exception to that, and it is who will be my first pick and will be my franchise left tackle, and his name from the Arizona Cardinals is DJ Humphries.
Okay.
He was displaced by Paris Johnson. So they have Kelvin Beachum on the right. DJ Humphries gets exposed here because he does make $12.5 million.
Mm-hmm.
He's also a veteran left tackle in this league. And whoever my quarterback is, I'm going to need to protect them because I'll go ahead and tell you, my strategy is I'm looking to next year. I want Caleb Williams or Drake May or Quinn Ewers. I'm not overly – I know I'm not getting Bryce Young. We all know how I felt about the other quarterbacks. Now, is there a possibility that I take a flyer on Will Levis? Maybe. Hindsight's 2020, so you never know. I might do that.
Yep. You will not be getting Bryce Young because I have the first pick in the draft, and that, spoiler alert, is going to be my first pick in the draft.
Tank did that thing that NFL teams should do and just say, yeah, let's go.
Let's go. Let's do it. My first pick in all of this is Dorrance Armstrong Jr., edge rusher from the Dallas Cowboys.
Kid out of Kansas that I was a little shocked made it in here.
Yeah, and look, I go into this not worried too much about money. We all know we talk about how Tank is cheaper than Oxygen. When you give me a pool of $158 million to spend, I'm going to spend every bit of it.
Well, that's what you can spend. Then we've got free agency. We've got all kinds of other things. I personally don't – I want value, guys. So, I liked him. He was on my board. But at $7.25 million, if I had done a really good job of hitting value younger guys over the course of the first 10 rounds, I might have considered it, but I wouldn't have done it that high.
Okay. I looked at it as I need a pass rusher. Every NFL team, there are major boxes that you have to check if you're going to be competitive at some point. And so I wanted to go young. I didn't want to go too expensive with the edge rusher spot. Because as you mentioned, there's guys like Khalil Mack that could be a potential superstar for your team, but he's also advanced age.
And really expensive.
Yeah, a whole lot of money that you'll have to dole out for that. At this point, I'm getting a 25-year-old edge rusher who has, somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 sacks, I think, in the last couple of years, and I feel like I can build a pass rusher.
He has 16 in his 3 years in the league. And that's, you never know. He's behind DeMarcus Lawrence. He's gotten some time when DeMarcus Lawrence has missed. My fear is he that good because he has Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence? I'm not saying he's not a good player. Mm-hmm. I was shocked he made it. Dallas was one of those teams on the entire roster that 8 guys that qualified. 8. And one of them was CeeDee Lamb. So, yeah, we were not exposing him.
No.
But you had to expose 6. So, he's a good player, high upside, very young. I get it.
Mm-hmm. And that cost me $7.25 million.
Totally get it. Value. I like it. I will say there is no shot that you don't spend more in this by 3 times than I do.
Oh, I'd agree with that.
Because I'm going to look to guys that are still on rookie deals. I'm going to give the rookie that maybe fell out of favor with a coaching staff because there was a coaching change, which takes me to my second pick, Matt Corral. Quarterback from the Carolina Panthers.
I thought the object of this was to take guys that had a chance to be drafted by the other team.
Well,
and that, yeah, you just always say that for the daily draft, and that guy was never going to be on my board.
No, and I agree with that. But you also have to understand, every time somebody from the Panthers gets taken, they can take somebody away.
Yes,
and that might have been the first one because their list is not overly impressive. It's several expensive guys that I have no desire to touch.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't really matter if you would take them. It more matters would they pull them back.
Gotcha.
And that's what I would be scared of because there is a player for Carolina that I could see you taking.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't want to risk it because the quarterbacks are gross. And of the entire list, there are 3 that I would consider taking in this entire thing. He's a lottery ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina exposes him because they were another team. They only had 9 or 10 guys that qualified.
Mm-hmm.
5 of them are starters.
Mm-hmm.
So Matt Corral's one that probably shouldn't be here. I didn't love him, but he's a young project quarterback. He's cheap. It's a fine start for me.
I fully believe in building on the lines.
As do I.
So I took an edge rusher first. And then I switched over. I'm going with an offensive lineman. And when I saw Patrick McCarry's name on it, I just could not do it. $6 million for, a young interior offensive lineman, and I think he can play either center or guard for me.
He can. And you're going to hear a lot of names like this where you go, Baltimore would never do that. Go through and tell me how many guys they actually had that qualified.
Right.
That's what makes this an actual expansion draft. These are guys that Baltimore doesn't want to lose him.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
You have a choice. You can throw him back or you can throw Rashad Bateman back. Which one do you think you're going to do? Because you have 9 linemen. You have 4 receivers.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to go through and make a lot of those decisions. That's a formidable pick by you.
As much as they hate wide receivers, they may just go Rashad Bateman.
Yeah, here, have a young receiver we took in the first round. No big deal.
But there again, that cost me another $6 million. So I've already spent 8 times as much as Jeremy in the first 2 picks.
Well, that's not true. DJ Humphries was really expensive.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
We're pretty close right now. I have a feeling that's going to the gap in that is going to expand.
100%.
Because I don't have a whole lot of guys on my list that are very expensive.
And see, if I'm going this early, I'm going to find not the most expensive guys, but I'm getting names that you know. I'm getting guys that are talented. I might have to pay them a little chunk, but I got to build this team on something.
I can already see that we have just 2 picks into this, I can already see that we have very different strategies.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually works out pretty well because the last time we did this, one team had yours and one team had mine. After the break, we'll tell you who that was, and we'll give you the next 6 picks for each of us. We'll do like 8 of these a day.
Yep. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Drive your stop and go 26 westbound between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Light delays 26 eastbound between Brevard Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound slow between the Smoky Park Highway and George's Branch Road. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road is slow. In Avery Creek, Brevard Road north and southbound approaching Long Shoals Road, stop and go. Again, Brevard Road north and southbound between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway near the North Carolina Arboretum. Traffic is very busy. Sweeten Creek Road northbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road northbound slow approaching Long Shoals Road. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Verizon. Ready to take control of your phone plan? Well, then you better take that next turn to a Verizon store. Because my plan from Verizon is the kind of control we all deserve. Get exactly what you want. Only pay for what you need. Get my plan at your Verizon store today.
I'm Israel Gutierrez. I'm hosting a new podcast called 4 Years of Heat. It takes you to Miami from 2010 to 2014, when LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade set the NBA ablaze.
Have an opportunity to team up with the best trio to ever play the game of basketball.
We'll take you inside those 4 monumental years with behind-the-scenes access and insight about one of the greatest teams ever assembled. 4 Years of Heat on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Grab your shades, your flip-flops, and your free iHeartRadio app for summer 2023. No matter where you go this summer, your favorite radio station, the music you love, and the best podcasts in the world will be along for the adventure. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Meet Joe A, Hi. Joe B, Hello. And Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect. Support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. So you ordered a new air filter for your car. You try to install it, but it doesn't fit. So you take a little bit off the sides. What still doesn't fit? Well, you could try to sit on it. Or get it right the first time with eBay Guaranteed Fit. When you see the check, you know that part's gonna fit. Air filters, brakes, headlights, over 122 million parts. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors, let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good clean family there, eh, God?
I love these exercises that Jeremy comes up with where I'm at an immediate disadvantage. What
you mean, because you don't have years of anthologies of players that you liked in the 2018 draft class?
Exactly.
That does put you at a market disadvantage.
Yeah, we are building expansion teams in the NFL. The Tennessee Top Hats run by Jeremy and my Beer City Battalion. The expansion draft has begun. So far, I've got Dorrance Armstrong and Patrick McCarry on my team.
And I have DJ Humphreys, my franchise left tackle, and Matt Corral, to which Sloan Jordan in the YouTube comments said Jeremy took a quarterback he literally blasted throughout the entire draft process last year. Tell me you're tanking for Williams and May without telling me. Wait till you see what I do with the number 2 pick.
My next player, I went name again, as I told you I'm going to.
Wait a minute, it's my pick. So you.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I picked first, and you and me.
Oh,
and
okay.
You.
All right, so it's your turn.
We have the same number of.
Fine, just take whoever you're going to take, whatever 7th rounder that you choose.
Jabril Cox, linebacker, Dallas Cowboys.
No, that was gonna be mine.
Yep. And now the Dallas Cowboys can lose no more players. As soon as you took Dorrance Armstrong, it meant, I got to do this quick.
Yep. Because that was going to be my next pick.
Well, that works out nicely. Linebacker out of LSU hasn't really seen the field time, but I still firmly believe in the talent, and I think he will be a nice starter for me in year one of what's going to be, well, let's say a team that's not very good.
It's just going to be awful. But at least you got something to build on.
Well, my goal is to have a lot of young guys. I'll give you the chance, and in a year from now, I'll have a lot of money, and I'll be able to figure out what it is that I'm doing.
All right. Well, I was going to add to my linebacker core, or start my linebacker core with Jabril Cox. Since you did that, I'm going to have to get my new quarterback a playmaker. We all know I'm getting Bryce Young with the number 1 pick in the draft, so I'm going to get him Dallas Goedert. I mean, he makes a chunk of change.
It's a lot of money, and it's been voided out to the umpteenth degree, which is why he was available.
Yep, $6.3 million for this year,
and
but then that balloons.
And
so my thought here is I'm going to take the $6 million now, and then we're going to push that down because he's what, 26, 27 years old.
I don't know the answer to that. He's somewhere 28.
He's 28. All right. 28.
See, my fear is, and the reason that I didn't take him is I think you're kicking that money into a bad section. I'm not overly fond of him in the first place. And I saw that $28 million number 2 years from now and went, nope, I'm going to be out on that.
In the current world of the NFL, that's never going to happen.
No, and you're going to kick it down the road. You're going to pay all the money. It's just going to be over several years.
Right.
I am trying to keep my ledger as clear as humanly possible. But that's fine. Dallas Go Dirte is it's a nice piece for you. My fourth pick, I'm still looking at the offensive line. We're going to be bad. Going to take a risk on a guy that was very highly thought of, hasn't really panned out. Garrett Bradbury, center from the Minnesota Vikings.
I almost considered taking him when I took Patrick McCarry. But I thought the versatility of McCarry was better than what I get with Bradbury.
Well, I'm also planning on drafting a center at some point. So for me, that's a
his Jets didn't get John Michael Schmidt, so doggone it, Jeremy's getting him in this next draft.
I'm not going to say you're wrong.
That's going to be your second round pick. I can already see it.
But that allows me a little flexibility. Bradbury can play guard. Trust me, I went back and checked my notes. So it just gives me another interior piece, and he's cheap.
Okay.
Tank's got money in his pocket. He can't help it.
I can't help it.
You can't. You're about to take one of these big name guys, aren't you?
I mean, I feel like I need to. I'm building a team that I want. Look, I don't necessarily want to be or try to be a playoff contender right away, but in a couple of years, like on that rookie contract with Bryce Young, I want to be competitive. I don't want this to be a 4 or 5 year build.
I'm thinking 2.
Like Jacksonville or Carolina, both of them. When they came into the league, they were in the conference championship games within 3 years, 4 years, something like that.
Second year, both.
Second year for both of them. Well, there you go. That's kind of the path I want to go down. And one of those big boxes that you need to check when you're building a team is corner. And J.C. Jackson is available.
And for a bajillion dollars.
I really don't care. I'm going to have to pay a bajillion dollars to somebody.
Well, you do have Gerard Mayo.
And I have Gerard Mayo as my defensive coordinator. So this is a guy that obviously he's familiar with, having worked with him in New England. So we'll pay the $20 million a year. It's 17 this year, and then next year it goes to 19 for 3 or 4 years. But I get that he had a bad year last year, but that shouldn't have been somebody I don't feel like should be exposed in this. There again, there's so many guys on that Chargers defense, I guess they thought, well, we have to expose one of these big contracts. And if we put J.C. Jackson and Khalil Mack out there, somebody's going to take one of them. Well, Hey, I'm the dum-dum. I'm taking J.C. Jackson.
Which means they pull back Khalil Mack. We got rid of one of the contracts. That's fine. We have young corners. We drafted another one. It's fine. It's fine. No big deal. There's one left that probably a lot of people listening to the show don't even know who this guy is, but he plays for the Las Vegas Raiders, and I loved him coming out. You talked about adding a pass rusher. I'm going to do the same thing. Malcolm Kuntz. Very cheap. He played at Buffalo. Loved him coming out. Just hasn't gotten the chance yet with the Raiders. I will happily give you some snaps here with the top hats.
Since you stole one Jabril from me, I'm not going to let you steal the other one.
No.
Yes. Jabril Peppers.
Ugh.
Safety from the New England Patriots.
Ugh. I saw that name and went, well, I won't be doing that.
I won't be doing that. But why not? I mean, he's a good player, isn't he?
He's a good athlete. He doesn't really have a position, and I'm good. If I'm going to take a safety, there are a couple out there, vet guys that are really expensive that I could be talked into maybe a little later. It depends on how many of these young, cheap guys I keep hitting on.
Right.
Before I take a swing at a bigger contract.
That's the smallest hit I've taken so far. It's only $3.5 million.
Which is, you're going to spend a lot of money in this.
Yes.
All right. With the release of Dalvin Cook, I was a little shocked to see this name. They actually had exposed Dalvin Cook. I have no interest in that. Kenny Nwangwu. Oh. Great special teams player out of Iowa State.
I did not think I was going to have to pull the trigger on that.
And that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to add players that are going to make the roster. I'm not looking for stars. I'm going to play a ton of rookies.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we're draft guys. I got 13 picks in this draft. or 12 picks in this draft. I'm going to do just fine. But Nwangwu can play special teams, and that's what I'm after.
Okay. All right. So we both kind of take special teams guys, despite the fact that special teams doesn't really matter all that much anymore.
It's still a thing. You still got to cover kicks. And
well, I guess that's true.
And Nwangwu can do
that.
that.
As far as returners.
No, that really doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, there's not much use for that anymore. However, New England didn't use Jabril that way. But I feel
well, when you have Marcus Jones, it's pretty easy to not.
I get it. I'm not saying it was the wrong decision. I'm just saying that's something that is in his wheelhouse that he can do.
I still say that Marcus Jones name in hushed tones after he gave me one of the worst endings to a game ever.
All right. Is it my pick or your pick?
It's yours.
I've lost track already.
Yep, it's yours.
Well, I mean, I've already spent money, so why not just keep spending it?
Oh, good Lord. That is every person that's ever faced mounting credit card debt, I think, has said the exact same thing that you just did.
And I'm going to keep building on my offensive line because I want to make sure if I'm going to have the tiniest quarterback in the league, then I'm going to need some protection for him. I'm going Mark Glowinski.
Oh, the vet.
Yeah.
From the New York Giants.
Mm-hmm. That's an $8 million hit, but, I mean, he's the closest thing to a Pro Bowl-ish offensive lineman, I think, that's on this list that you wouldn't have to spend billions of dollars on.
No, there's one more. That's who I'm going to take right here. Rob Havenstein from the Los Angeles Rams. Yeah, it's $9.7 million. The Rams exposed basically every big contract that wasn't Cooper Kupp and Aaron Donald.
Yep.
So this is the only one I'm even vaguely interested in. I think I've got my book in tackles. Now, whatever poor unfortunate soul I put behind this line, it may not die.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, Matt Corral.
And look, you may not like this guy, but he's a young player. He's a young offensive lineman. I think he's got good in him. I don't think there's greatness in Larry Borum, but I think he's a solid piece that you can put on the offensive line. It's going to cost me $1 million. And I think
he's a kid I liked
he can grow into a decent tackle.
And if for nothing else, you just added a swing.
Mm-hmm.
He got displaced by Darnell Wright when the Bears took him at 10.
He got a little gun shy on spending money here. At least that round.
You haven't been. You're closing in on $50 million. You have 7 players.
Yes.
All right, I got one more for today. I'm going to go young guy. He hasn't been particularly good. Only played 1 year. Missed last year for injury. Levi Onwuzurike from the Detroit Lions.
No. Come on.
That's my Rex Ryan 3-4 defensive end. Let's go.
That's one that I thought for sure I wouldn't have to pull the trigger on because, I mean, he's been hurt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to put Malcolm Kuntz right behind him, and I feel real good about one side of my pass rush.
All right, fair enough. That leaves me. I got Dorrance Armstrong at the edge rusher spot. I think I need to add a defensive tackle here. But there's not really a lot of great choices.
Nope.
This is the problem that I have looking at it. I mean, like, you got Foley Fatukasi.
Who's expensive.
Uh-huh. Way more expensive than he should be. Grady Jarrett, who, great player.
Atlanta's just daring you to take him.
Yeah, and I'm not going to.
Because his contract is gross. Makes sense for Atlanta because they're building that team on defense and running the ball.
Levi
doesn't really make sense for you.
Yeah, Levi was the only other one on that list that I even kind of liked.
That's why I took him.
So if I can't get the cheap young guy, I guess I'll.
Oh, no. No. There are 2 names you can say right here, and both of them are bad.
I mean, what, bad players or bad choices? Same? Really?
No, one of them's a really bad player. He's a name. Jerry Tillery's the one I'm thinking of.
Well, I was going Larry Ogunjobi.
Ugh.
And again, there's been injury issues.
And that contract is gross.
It's only $5 million this year.
Yeah.
But then it's
another
one of those that balloons in the next 2 years. So that might be another one that will take the $5 million hit now, and then we can renegotiate later.
Yeah, moving forward when we do free agency pieces for this, Tank, what are you going to do in free agency? I signed a long snapper, and I'm done because I'm broke. Jeremy's out here throwing money around like he's drunk at a casino. Just everybody gets a $100 chip. Let's go. See, that's my thing with the expansion draft. These are all your discards. There's something wrong with every one of these guys. So I ain't spending money on it. I'll build my roster this way. You're taking the highest end talents, which I get. You're probably going to end up with more starters than I do. I'm taking a lot of lottery tickets. I'm fine with that.
That you are. Although you are the draft nerd and you want to build this team through the draft. I am not so much the draft nerd, so I got to take guys that I know, guys that I've seen, and then I can worry about the draft picks.
If I don't start 8 rookies this first year, I think I should have to change my Twitter handle from @ESPN Draft Nerd. I'm not going to have to.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Signs of smoke in the forecast coming all the way down from the Canadian wildfires. Air quality alerts across the Carolinas here for late week. We're in the mid-40s in the valley tonight, and we'll keep some hazy sunshine around tomorrow. Periods of smoke, high 76 degrees, low 80s on Saturday. Rain showers, thunderstorms showing up early next week. That'll clean out the atmosphere some Sunday, Monday, highs in the 70s. I'm meteorologist Scott Laria-Moore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
August slow traffic volume 26 westbound west of Chimney Rock Road, continuing to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound, light delays between the French Broad River and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound near George's Branch Road, traffic is slow. Near Fletcher, Hendersonville Road northbound, approaching Howard Gap Road, traffic very busy. Hendersonville Road northbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road north and southbound, approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Pool season is here, but open roles got you underwater? Check out Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you suffering from seasonal allergies? Because you're not alone. Experts say pollen season started earlier this year and will last longer, and that folks who've never had issues before are feeling miserable. I'm Martin Hoke, inventor of Navage, the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Over 3 million people use Navage to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, helping to flush out allergens, mucus, and germs. Navage helps clear your sinuses quickly and naturally. But what about other people's experiences, like Miss Clement? Quote, I chose Navage because of my persistent allergies. Navage works. While using it, I cut back on allergy meds and occasional shots at my doctor's office. Unquote. That's one of over 120,000 reviews with a 4.6-star average written by people who use Navage to breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. Stop suffering and try Navage today at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, and Target. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Fellas, stop treating your groin like junk. Introducing the Gillette Intimate Pubic Hair Trimmer, a gentle and easy shave from America's #1 trusted men's grooming brand. Respect your pubic region with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
Here's to the dads, the ones who show us what it means to love unconditionally, to laugh uncontrollably, and to live life with dignity. At Ingles, we know that dad doesn't always get the most attention. So this Father's Day, join us in giving the dads their due, along with the neckties, golf balls, and funny cards. We love you, dads, every day of the year. Ingles, all the ingredients for family.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, and it's time to get weird. And I have lived in North Carolina most of my life. The only time I ever moved out of North Carolina was when I went to college down in Charleston, South Carolina, bounced around a couple other southeastern cities in the radio biz before returning home. So I was kind of shocked when I saw this expose, I guess we can call it, that WRAL did on Lake Norman near Charlotte. You ever been out to Lake Norman, Jeremy?
Yes.
Okay.
My best, the best man in HWA and I's wedding, his in-laws live on Lake Norman.
See, when people say I'm going out to Lake Norman, you know, I think about, okay, well, you know, you're just going out to a lake, and I never really grasp how large Lake Norman is.
Big place.
Built, it's a man-made lake. They flooded out all this land in the 1960s and completed a 34-mile-long lake. Lake Norman is absolutely huge. Thousands of boaters and fishermen and all kind of outdoorsy people flock there during the summer. But what's interesting to me is what is underneath Lake Norman. There's a a Revolutionary War battlefield from 1781 that lies underneath the lake. There's the remains of a 1930s summer camp under there, old plantations, homes, highways, an abandoned plane crash, and even, they say, the legend of a Loch Ness monster-type creature known as Normie. All right, get it? So, like, Loch Ness had Nessie, and so Lake Norman's creature is Normie. I had no clue about this, though. I usually follow stories like the Loch Ness Monster and Sasquatch and, of course, aliens. You guys know that about me. This is the first time I've ever heard of Normie, the Lake Norman Monster. Apparently, several sightings throughout the decades. Sightseeing cruises around the lake, people have reported seeing some long-necked creature.
Was it Davis Mills?
It might have been.
Easily might have been.
Might have been Davis Mills in town on vacation. Who knows?
Or Mike Glennon. If they were swimming together, you'd think there'd be two of them in there.
Anyway, I just thought it was very interesting that, you know, while we may be hitting the water for the summer vacation here, Memorial Day has passed, but the 4th of July, just you never know what lies under some of the waters that are out there, especially when you have a 34-mile man-made lake.
I just think it's funny that nobody has a picture of this thing. It's this giant critter that lives in a lake. Everybody has a cell phone. Everybody's on Instagram. Nobody ever accidentally got a picture of this thing.
Nope. It comes and goes. You never know. You never know when it's going to be there, and then by the time you get your phone out, it's gone.
Weird. I've seen a picture of literally every meal some of the people I'm friends with on social media have eaten, but we can't get a picture of this thing. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. A while back, I told you a story about Sophia Adams. She's a psychic from Palo Verde, California. She's had a business for many years. She and her husband, George Adams, have had high-end celebrity clientele that includes Joan Rivers, Cher, Delta Burke, many more. Well, she gave a psychic reading to a woman named Sophia Restrepo. She told her that she had been cursed and that for $5,100 she could remove this curse and she could live her life all hunky-dunky.
Okay.
I told you that story about 18 months ago. There is now a new layer to that story that is making it even weirder. Apparently, this Restrepo person was paid off by another psychic in the area to file the claim. Now the Adamses are coming out against the other clairvoyant, saying that there is a full-on battle of the psychics in California. Now, call me a disbeliever, but if you were a psychic, wouldn't you already have known that?
Bingo.
Like, if you could see into the future, wouldn't you just go, hey, Bill sent you, didn't he? Huh. But you didn't. But you didn't do that. But why did you not do that? On the website from the Adams, it says they were both born with psychic powers, which gives them all kinds of abilities for a set fee to help people with their lives. I'm going to ask you a question. Have you ever met somebody that believes in psychics?
Yes.
You said that in a weird way.
Well, I had to think for a second.
Oh, I thought you were about to say, yes, I Captain Blue Shirt.
I believe, no.
It's one of those things that people tell me, and I immediately go, do I want to mess with you, or do I just want to move on? So this person's a clairvoyant, and they see the future. Have they ever had anything bad happen in their life? Why'd they not see that? Why'd the cards not tell them that? They're playing with their Pokemon cards all the time. Why do they never see? Uh-oh. Bus. Bad. Take a cab.
Because that's not how the universe works, Jeremy.
I will never stop. You remember John Edwards?
Yes.
The clairvoyant that had that show?
My mom loved that.
And then they figured out that the reason he knew all these things about people is because they were breaking into their houses. And they were directing him through an earpiece to, pick that one. Because we know her dad's name's George. As soon as you say George, she's going to lose it.
I'm sensing a G name somewhere up there in that section. Yes. You. Yes. Was there a Greg? No, not Greg.
South Park did a great take on clairvoyance, where Kyle basically did the same thing of I'm sensing a D. My dad's name was Dale.
That's the one.
You told me everything I needed to know. That doesn't make me a psychic. That means I said something very vague. You repeated it.
Let me guess, you were close with your father?
One of these days, I will tell the story of the date I went on with. I was set
with
up
a psychic.
Yeah.
No way.
100%.
No way.
Longest hour and a half of my life.
And she never saw you ditching her with the bill, did she?
I didn't ditch her with the bill. I paid the bill, and then I escaped through the fire exit. She's like, I'd read the cards, and it said we're destined to be together. My exact words were, I think you need a new deck of cards.
That's the greatest line you've ever delivered.
I think you need to find a new deck of cards because that one's broke. As if I get out of this meal, I will thank the holy stars, and I'll change my phone number.
I couldn't imagine.
Frankly, I might fake my own death.
I could never imagine trying to carry on a conversation with somebody that thinks they're a medium.
I can't remember. This has been a while back now, but she said something about Mercury was in retrograde. And I was like, I don't know what that means.
No one does.
We were through 2 courses of a meal, and I stopped and said, I haven't understood one part of this meal. Like, you haven't said a phrase yet that made any sense to me. But because I was a Pisces and she was a Leo, it meant we were destined to be together. And I went, so you mean every person born in a 28-day period, every other person born between a 28-day period, they're destined to be together. Huh. Doesn't sound kooky at all.
No, that's one of those things that I do not believe in. I do not believe in psychics. I don't believe in tarot cards and none of that. Because, okay, if you are a psychic, tell me why you have to have a little separate apartment in some crappy beauty parlor with a horribly broken neon sign in the window. Like, if you were a clairvoyant, then I would think that you'd be doing some investing. You'd be,
Did you never see Back to the Future? Start throwing bangers on futures in Major League Baseball. You'll make a killing.
And I'm sure there may be somebody within the earshot of this program right now in the downtown Asheville going, you guys just don't understand how the cosmos works.
And you know what I would tell that person? You should go to the gas station down there on Tunnel Road, and there's a guy that will sell you a rock that has magical powers. Just make sure you ask him how much. He gets really offended if you don't ask how much.
Absolutely. This is the Sportsocracy, ESPN Asheville. The Big Ten's got, they've got a scheduling plan, and they're calling it Flex Protect Plus. Why does everything have to have a plus on it?
I don't know. This is, without a doubt, one of the most confusing things I think I've ever read in my life. After the break, we'll try to sort through it for you.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slowing 26 westbound west of Hendersonville Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound slows east of Brevard Road, continuing to Airport Road. 40 westbound light delays between Smoky Park Highway and George's Branch Road. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road north and southbound near Long Shoals Road is slow. Hendersonville Road northbound approaching Howard Gap Road near Fletcher is very busy. Again, Hendersonville Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Pool season is here, but open roles got you underwater? Check out Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match, only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
Can I help? Who's next?
Tom's part-time barista is now a full-time actor.
Oh, you didn't hear. He got the part on Broadway. Yeah, great for him, bad for our finicky cold brew tap.
Now he needs a star understudy to fill his open role.
And he made the best grande triple shot with oat milk caramel.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm Israel Gutierrez. I'm hosting a new podcast called 4 Years of Heat. It takes you to Miami from 2010 to 2014, when LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade set the NBA ablaze.
You know, have an opportunity to team up with the best trio to ever play the game of basketball.
We'll take you inside those 4 monumental years with behind-the-scenes access and insight about one of the greatest teams ever assembled. 4 Years of Heat on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
At Ingles, we know that Dad doesn't always get the most attention. So this Father's Day, join us in giving the dads their due, along with the neckties, golf balls, and funny cards. We love you, dads, every day of the year.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy, and we are under 100 days. I'm not sure what the actual count is at this point, but I know we're under the 100 days mark until the start of the college football season. And the Big Ten, with all of their reorganization that's coming with USC and UCLA joining, They're getting rid of the divisions. So no more divisions. Nobody's going to have divisions anymore, right? I don't think I don't think there is a conference with divisions anymore.
And by the way, we're 84 days.
84.
84 days till college football.
Can't wait for it. Of course, we will have all of your previews and such leading up to the season right here in the Sportsocracy. But the Big Ten, with the 2024 restructuring with the West Coast teams coming in, and they expand to 16 members, no more divisions, and they've gone to a Flex Protect Plus scheduling model. They're going to have a 9-game league schedule. And everybody,
which is the way it should be.
And everybody has one permanent rival.
And obviously Michigan, Ohio State, UCLA, USC, a lot of the trophy games, and then Maryland, Rutgers, which, yay.
Well, I mean, you had to give them somebody.
Hey, we got each other. Isn't that cute?
And, yeah, the rivalry games are a big part of that. You got Indiana and Purdue. You got Illinois and Purdue, I guess, is going to be one of the secondary. Because that's how this works. You're going to have You're going to have the main rival, and then you're going to have a rotating
No, the
set of
protected
rivals?
games are played every year.
Okay.
So Illinois gets 2 that are played every single year.
Okay.
Not every team gets that. Obviously, USC and UCLA have no natural rivals, so they get each other and nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
You then get two plays, which means you play them in back-to-back years. Like USC and Penn State will play both years, and so will UCLA and Nebraska. You're going to catch a lot of those with the teams that only have one protected game. Then you'll play everybody 2 out of every 4 years. So you'll get a home and home with each team in the conference every 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really think there's a better model for this. We're coming to the day where these non-conference games are just going to go away. I mean, it's going to be incremental. It's going to take some time. This is why I laughed when the SEC was talking about their 8-game model. We got to protect these 4 payment games. No, you don't. And when the Big Ten goes to this, it's going to make them look a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Which would you rather have? A win over Western Kentucky or a win over Illinois? Not that hard to figure out.
No, it's not. And I think the SEC will end up going to the 9-game schedule.
I do. It's just going to take a year.
Right. Well, I mean, I think we talked about this last week before last, when they were talking about their schedules moving forward and getting rid of the divisions. You have to go to that multiple rivalry games a year.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, I think they're using the Big Ten as the guinea pig, because you are, much like the SEC, you're going to be adding 2 teams that don't have natural rivals in your conference. But, I mean, that's what I want to see more of. We were talking about the countdown. It's 84 days until college football. Well, it's actually like 98 days, because it takes, outside of a few non-conference games, LSU, Florida State, a few others in that opening weekend,
Mm-hmm.
it's largely Alabama and directional roast beef tech. I don't need to see that.
Mm-hmm.
And we're coming to a day where all those things are going to go away. I mean, you can vouch for this. I've been largely accurate with where college football's headed.
You have been.
I also think there's a great big upsetting of the apple cart that's coming quite soon.
Like what?
The Pac-10's not going to exist.
Oh.
Everything I hear is
How
there's
can
no
it?
shot that it continues to exist.
Right. How can it?
Well, they can't find a TV deal with what they have.
Mm-hmm.
And now every team in the conference has a life raft, whether it's the Big 12, the Big 10 in a couple instances. We're going to go to power. It's going to be the Power 4, and that's the way it should be.
Yes.
And all of them should have roughly 16 teams, and then you've got 2 sections of this. You got the group of 5. They do their thing. It's entertaining to watch, but we've really got big boy football for half of the teams in D1 college football, and that's the way it should be.
I would agree. We talked about the disparity time and time again about NIL and such, and the big schools are going to be able to get the best players. Well, yeah, then they should play each other.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't survive if you don't have that at the highest end. Now, you continue to play each other. You get your bowl games, and that's great. But you're literally being led to slaughter if you go up against these big boys.
All right, the SportsCenter update coming up in just a few seconds. And then after the SportsCenter update, top of the 5 o'clock hour, we will begin our next series in the Mount Rushmore series. We're doing the AFC West teams today, who are the all-time greats for all of those teams.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Times of smoke in the forecast coming all the way down from the Canadian wildfires. Air quality alerts across the Carolinas here for late week. We're in the mid-40s in the valley tonight, and we'll keep some hazy sunshine around tomorrow. Periods of smoke, high 76 degrees, low 80s on Saturday. Rain showers, thunderstorms showing up early next week. That'll clean out the atmosphere some Sunday, Monday, highs in the 70s. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slowing 26 westbound west of Hendersonville Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound slows east of Brevard Road, continuing to Airport Road. 40 westbound light delays between Smoky Park Highway and George's Branch Road. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road north and southbound near Long Shoals Road is slow. Hendersonville Road northbound approaching Howard Gap Road near Fletcher is very busy. Again, Hendersonville Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Nacho fries just got even better with steak chili verde fries. These fries are packed with grilled steak and covered in spicy verde sauce with kicks of jalapeno and lime. Try them first only at Taco Bell. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only while supplies last.
Ready to take control of your phone plan? Well, then you better take that next turn to a Verizon store. Because my plan from Verizon is the kind of control we all deserve. Get exactly what you want. Only pay for what you need. Get my plan at your Verizon store today.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio stations.
Today, rookie Bryce Young is his #1 quarterback. Young has taken more first-team reps during OTAs than veteran Andy Dalton. Miami Heat guard Tyler Hero is out for Game 4 of the NBA Finals as he recovers from a broken right hand. The Nuggets now leading the series 2-1. Denver coach Michael Malone.
Overall, that's the first time that we won the fourth quarter last night. Held them to 30% from the field. Our defense was much better, and that was a huge point of emphasis as well. First two games, the first three quarters, we had dominated. And both fourth quarters, they had dominated. So we needed to play much closer to 48 minutes, and last night was a good example of that.
Michael Malone, and you can hear more of that interview during our NBA on ESPN Radio coverage of Game 4 starting at 7:30 Eastern tomorrow night. The game also on ABC TV.
A shorthanded summer staff calls for Indeed. Their hiring platform helps attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Sponsor a job and instantly receive a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Now, your chance at a trip to our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival. Text the nationwide keyword Vegas to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's Vegas to 200-200.
He's a degenerate gambler.
We can start anywhere you want to.
No, I mean, when you're paring these down, the West is weird, but I do think with despite the recent success of the Kansas City Chiefs, the Raiders are the more historic franchise here in this division. Do you agree with that?
I would agree.
Now, Who's on the mountain?
Well, there's one – for me, there's a great debate with the Raiders. Is Al Davis on it?
Yes.
I agree with you, but I don't want to.
Why not? Because there were so many bad years under his leadership?
Well, because I could make the argument that he's the worst thing that ever happened to the franchise.
You can. But, I mean, the role that Al Davis played in the merger talks, and I feel like he was such a big piece of making the modern NFL what it is today that you can't not have him on there.
I would agree with that. I'm not sure that means he should be on the Mount Rushmore of the Raiders. I had him there, but it's tough for me because they've had so many great players. And then you get into there's another, I hate to say front office member, but I kind of lump coaches, owners, GMs, all that into the – because you got to have Madden on it too. Don't you?
Yes. I mean, he presided over the best stretch of franchise history, or at least the most successful.
Correct.
Your Super Bowl years. You got to put him on.
So, I mean, for me, that was 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, if I'm putting in an owner and a coach, they're going up really high.
Number 3.
That's where it got tougher. Because a lot of theirs are from back in the day.
I feel like there are only really 2, maybe 3 names that you could go with here.
Okay.
I can't wait to hear what your third is.
Well, for me, Gene Upshaw was one of the preliminary.
Okay.
And he's another one of those that a lot of what you did had absolutely nothing to do with your playing days.
Mm-hmm.
But your playing days were pretty good, too.
Absolutely, they were. He wasn't one of the ones I was thinking of, though.
Tim Brown was one of the ones I was thinking
Tim Brown and Marcus Allen.
I'm not going to lie, I didn't have Marcus Allen.
Really? Not even in your honorable mentions?
Yeah, I mean, he was going to get mentioned. But for me, I look at the Raiders, they're kind of in that same vein as other teams. Of you had one great stretch, which I feel like is being represented by Al Davis and John Madden.
Mm-hmm.
My other 2 were Tim Brown and Charles Woodson.
Okay, I don't hate it. My 2 were Marcus Allen and Tim Brown. It really took a lot for me to leave Howie Long off of this.
He was a tough one. Cliff Branch was a tough one. Dave Casper, Ted Hendricks, Gene Upshaw, Fred Blitnikoff. They were all difficult.
I had Upshaw and Woodson on my I want to get them on, but I don't know that I can.
Well, I mean, I could make the argument Charles Woodson's outside of Deion Sanders and Darrell Reeves the 3rd greatest corner that ever lived.
Absolutely.
Then had a second act as a safety that was rather formidable as well. So make sure I understood you here.
Yes.
Your 4 was Madden, Al Davis, Tim Brown, and Marcus Allen.
Yes.
All right, sell me on Marcus Allen.
Sell you on Marcus Allen?
All right, I phrased that. Well, I didn't phrase it poorly because that's exactly what I'm going to ask you to do. Was he better than Bo Jackson?
For a longer period.
For a longer,
of time,
but it wasn't that much longer. I mean, Marcus Allen's a great running back.
Mm-hmm.
I just struggle with you're not the best running back in the history of this franchise. If it wasn't for injuries, but we talk about Bo Jackson the way we talk about Barry Sanders.
Well, absolutely. But, again, doing it for a longer period of time has to count for something.
The other problem I had with Marcus Allen is he got hurt a lot. I mean, virtually every year he played in the league, he was hurt. And you don't hold that against him in any way. I think we also know that I'm super biased against running backs.
Well, of course you are. But he is another one that was one of the best running backs in the league.
Once. He did it one time.
What? Led the league?
No. He was one of the best running backs in the league exactly one time. Let's play a fun Marcus Allen quiz.
Mm-hmm.
He played in the league for 16 years.
Mm-hmm.
How many times did he break 1,000 yards? By the way, this is break 1,000 yards back in the 80s when there were a lot of guys that broke 1,000 yards.
Mm-hmm.
How many times did he do it in 16 years?
I don't know. 9.
3.
Really?
That's it.
Really?
That's it. And it was his second, third, and fourth year in the league. Other than that, he never broke 900 yards again. And for me, that was just a non-starter for me.
Interesting.
Yes, you had that one MVP special year in 85 where he had almost 1,800 yards and a bajillion touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a bunch of touchdowns in a few other years. But, I mean, he just wasn't really that effective. There were a lot of years that he was averaging 3.5 yards a carry. That's not good. I'm not lying. I didn't even – I mean, I had his name written down, but it was way far down.
Really?
I had Bo Jackson ahead of him. And I know that he didn't play that long. Marcus Allen was only really effective for about the same period of time.
Yeah. Bo was never sniffing this list. For
Bo
me.
was a cultural phenomenon, which I feel like this is going to be kind of a cyclical argument, but the people that were railing on me for saying there is absolutely no shot Michael Vick should be on the Falcons Mount Rushmore, you should be the same people that are screaming for Bo Jackson. I could make the argument he's the most recognizable Raider of all time.
And I don't disagree with you. The problem is the length of time that he was able to do it in. And there are just too many other good players. Atlanta's problem was I can't really find anybody else to put on this list that even scratches the surface. Bo Jackson, as great as he was, for that short amount of time, I still have Marcus Allen in his career achievements head and shoulders above him.
I don't disagree. I mean, I don't disagree with you.
Talent-wise, there's no question.
No doubt.
Talent-wise, Bo Jackson was unlike anything we had ever seen before.
I would agree with that. And the only reason I'm saying Bo is for the cultural impact. Nobody has had Bo knows. That's nobody we talk about in this entire series of teams has a campaign like that. And it really did a lot for the sport, even though he didn't necessarily do it. In the chat, Ray Guy and Sebastian Janikowski have been thrown out there. I feel like they need to be mentioned. I can't put kickers on this. Not for the Raiders.
No.
I can do it for the Falcons or one of these teams that – all right, the
you
Lions.
ain't got a lot to choose from.
But, I mean, we're talking about – we mentioned Ted Hendricks for about a tenth of a second, and we hadn't even said Jack Tatum's name yet. I can't get kickers on this list. I can't agree with Marcus Allen.
Okay.
I just can't.
Okay.
Now, the question is, who does the other one become? I think Al Davis and John Madden are no doubters.
I would agree. I would say Woodson.
I think that's where I'm at.
It's either Upshaw or Woodson for me.
No love on Ted Hendricks. Just nothing. Arguably I want to say he's a top 6 of all time. And just, nope. Dave Casper. That's another one. We didn't even say his name yet. There's a lot of them for the Raiders. But I feel like Tim Brown was Mr. Raider for a really long time.
Absolutely.
So to me, he's got to be up there. The pollsters disagree with that.
What do the pollsters say?
So one of the sites I use for this is Ranker because this just goes on forever.
I do like Ranker.
Well, I mean, it just works because you can upvote. It's almost like Reddit for ranking things. Tim Brown's not even the top 10.
Which is stupid.
He's 12.
Which is why I discount the Ranker list. When I pulled up, like the Cleveland Browns, I pulled up their Ranker list, greatest Browns of all time. Where was Nick Chubb on that list?
He should have been 40.
He was 5.
That's insane.
Exactly.
Well, this one, and that's a recency thing, and you get people that haven't seen anybody else. I give some more credence to the Raiders. I mean, Jim Otto's 1. Another name we haven't even said yet. Blitnikov's 2, Gene Upshaw's 3, Ted Hendricks, Dave Casper. Then in the top 10, Ray Guy, Cliff Branch, Howie Long, Charles Woodson, Jim Plunkett. I can't say that any of those guys are too high, except for the fact you left off Tim Brown, which is confounding to me. And Charles Woodson's the only name I've thought about that's played for this team in 20 years.
Michael Meadows in the YouTube comments says, what about the Raider quarterbacks? At the risk of ruffling feathers, what about them?
Well, I mean, I think
when you go
Plunkett has to be mentioned.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is when you're considering the elite of the elite, do they ever crack the surface for you?
I mean, they don't for me. I'm
Kenny
assuming he's
Stabler.
talking about Kenny Stabler and Jim
Stabler
Plunkett.
and Jim Plunkett. Those are the only two that you have, unless you're going to throw Derek Carr in there.
Rich Gannon, he did win an MVP.
Oh yeah, Rich Gannon. Yeah,
and that's to me that's kind of where they belong.
Have that
Yeah, they need
Super
to be
Bowl taste.
mentioned. They need to be mentioned, but I look at them much like I look at Marcus Allen. Okay, you threw up you were here for a billion years, but you were never really special to me. I mean, Plunkett was a prodigious talent, but you compare him, where does he fall in the lexicon of quarterbacks all time, in the top 100?
That's exactly the number I was going to throw out.
So for me, it would be those last two come down to Tim Brown, Charles Woodson, like you said, Upshaw, Biletnikoff, Ted Hendricks, and Howie Long.
Yeah.
And I would probably just do the I'm a young guy thing and say Tim Brown and Charles Woodson.
I don't hate it. Again, wanted to get the great flat top on there somehow, but just didn't work out for Howie. He can be on an auxiliary.
I hate how
mountain
dismissive we were of Jack Tatum in this too. He should have been mentioned with all of the other ones I just said.
Mm-hmm. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. We will continue with the Mount Rushmores of the AFC West next.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is very busy. 26 westbound between Hendersonville Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound slows between I-40 and the French Broad River. 40 westbound slow between the Smoky Park Highway and George's Branch Road. An accident on Tunnel Road near Overbrook Road. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road north and southbound. Approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Again, Brevard Road north and southbound delays between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway near the North Carolina Arboretum. Near Fletcher, Hendersonville Road north and southbound approaching Fanning Bridge Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Nacho fries just got even better with steak chili verde fries. These fries are packed with grilled steak and covered in spicy verde sauce with kicks of jalapeno and lime. Try them first only at Taco Bell. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only while supplies last.
ESPN Asheville has your chance to win a $7,500 garage makeover from Carolina Closets, the perfect Father's Day present. Just log on now to ESPNAVL.com and search under contest, and you can register to win.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Ricardo, quote, "This is one of the greatest inventions ever. I know this may sound like I'm exaggerating, but this sucker is amazing. The first time I did it, I couldn't believe what came out of my sinuses. I could breathe with ease. My wife just bought one too. Thank you for this product," unquote. He's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
What's worse than calling your groin your junk? Treating it like junk. Respect your pubic region with Gillette Intimate. Gentle and easy pubic hair care from America's #1 trusted men's grooming brand. Gillette, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
So much of life these days is rushing around from one place to another. Sometimes you just want to enjoy the journey on the way to the destination. And part of what makes it a little more enjoyable is an appreciation for the folks who help you get there. At Ingles, we know that the people who send you on your way are the same ones who keep you coming back.
I think you should take her for a spin. Are you serious?
Ingles, all the ingredients for family.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy, Mount Rushmores. We continue the process here, going through the AFC West. Now, it's time for the Denver Broncos.
Well, I mean, one is the most obvious of any team we've done so far.
Tim Tebow. Easy.
Oh, that I have blood coming out of my ears now.
But he won a playoff game.
It would be one Mr. John Albert Elway.
Of course.
Jr. I don't know why they put his name like that on Google, but I always going to say it. It's from there that it gets a little more interesting.
Yeah.
Because you're going to say a name that I'm going to ruffle at, and I feel it coming.
Like Peyton Manning?
I actually probably would ruffle less at that than the one I thought you were going to say.
Terrell Davis.
That would be the one.
Uh-huh.
Terrell Davis was a sparkler. It lasted for about an hour. Now, in that very small time frame, he was unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
But he's certainly not my two. My two's Shannon Sharp, and I didn't think about it for 5 seconds.
Really? Okay.
No doubt.
Okay.
I could make the argument he retired as the greatest tight end that ever lived. Now, he's been passed on that list
by a few.
A couple times.
Right, I was going to say by a few guys.
But he's still, I mean, I don't think you're building a tight end Mount Rushmore without him.
Mm-hmm.
Then you add in what he's done in the media after that, it makes it a slam dunk for me.
Right. TD gets he gets a lot of attraction because he was the star running back on that back-to-back championship team, and he did a lot to get them there. 36 touchdowns in 2 years,
which is
two Super
phenomenal.
Bowl years. It's crazy. And then what? And then what happened?
And the other thing that I've always thought dings Terrell Davis is you had 8 running backs come in and be fantastic on the backside of that.
Mm-hmm.
From Olandis Gary to Mike Anderson, Clinton Portis. I've always kind of held that against Terrell Davis. He had 4 years in the league, and then he disappeared off the face of the earth.
I can see that. And I mean, a lot of that has to do with the system that he played in, too. Mike Shanahan loved to run the football.
Well, I mean, and look at how many running backs have been successful running an iteration of that system later on.
And that is where I go next. Is Mike Shanahan is he on the Mount Rushmore? Does he make it for you? Because he doesn't for me.
He doesn't for me, but it's not if you'd said he was on yours, I probably would have gristled at it, but I wouldn't have fought it that hard.
Is 4 years enough with a Super Bowl ring to put Peyton on there?
He's close, but I'm going to say no.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was at.
I mean, he's the one in Indianapolis, but he's in other receiving votes for the Broncos.
You're going to call me a homer here.
Oh, Lord.
It's Champ Bailey, one of the greatest corners to ever play the game. He may not be Darrelle Revis or Charles Woodson.
No, but he's in that
close.
He's in that next tier.
Absolutely. He's pretty close. And he was one of the most recognizable faces on that team.
He was. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I get it. He was actually in Denver longer than I thought he was.
Mm-hmm.
I still remember the Washington days. We're going to trade Champ Bailey for Clinton Portis. What are you, stupid? I'll never forget when that happened. I was like a sophomore in high school, and I remember reading about that trade going, make that make sense to me, because it doesn't in any way. I'm sure there were Washington fans that just went, did you have to bring that up?
Right.
Yes, Yes, I did.
Yes, I did. Champ Bailey belongs on the Mount Rushmore for the Denver Broncos to me.
I could certainly get there with him before I could get to Terrell Davis.
Mm-hmm. I'm not pushing back on Shannon Sharp. He was on my Mount Rushmore as well.
He was my 2.
And then I went back and forth between several guys. TD was on that list. Peyton Manning, Von Miller, Rod Smith.
I was about to say, if Rod Smith's not here, we're going to have some kerfuffles.
And Steve Atwater.
We're in lockstep there. Now it's just picking, but for which one is it going to be? Because we can universally agree. Do you want Champ 2, or are you good with Shannon Sharp at 2?
I'm good with Shannon at 2.
All right, so Elway, Sharp, Champ Bailey, and then we have one spot left. And I'm not going to lie, I have absolutely no clue who that fourth one should be. Because we didn't even say Ed McCaffrey, and I think he deserves to be said here, too.
Yes, absolutely.
Floyd Little deserves to be said here.
Mm-hmm.
Carl Mecklenburg deserves to be said here.
Mm-hmm. I think you have to have Peyton on there. I mean, I know it was only 4 years, but he did get a Super Bowl out of it. Granted, he wasn't the star of the Super Bowl that they won. That was Von Miller.
And that's my problem.
Yeah, but but those earlier years were so good. I mean, you had the 5,000-yard season that he had in 2013. His stats were just so crazy in that offense. Coming back from the neck injury and all of that.
It's just it's the Marcus Allen argument all over again. Yeah, it was great, but man, it was a short period of time. To me, all right, answer me this. Who was more influential to their Super Bowl, Peyton Manning or Terrell Davis?
To the actual win?
Mm-hmm.
It was Terrell Davis.
And to me, it's not even close.
Mm-hmm.
And I dismissed him almost immediately.
Right.
So it's hard for me to go, yeah, we're good with Peyton. I think my argument would be Von Miller. West Virginia Willie in the comments said you have to put either Von or Peyton on there. And I think what he's trying to say is since they were responsible for that Super Bowl,
right,
one of them has to be represented. And to me, it's Von Miller. And I don't know that it's all that close.
And he was the MVP of the Super Bowl that year. And I guess I go with you.
I can't get down with Peyton because then you start getting into it's one thing when it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Where I'm not going to lie, I know you're a fan and you're going to say, you're just being a hater. I got to that fourth spot with Tampa Bay and went, ooh, there's 20 dudes that I put in the exact same rung, and I don't know that any of them belong here.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at Tom and went, that was the best 3-year run in the franchise history. It's real easy for me to say it was because of you.
Yep.
I don't really feel like Peyton changed the culture for the Broncos. He came in, they had a hole at quarterback. They had been good other than that. Not that good.
Mm-hmm.
And Peyton gave them that guy.
Right.
But they won that Super Bowl because of that defense. And Von Miller was the face of the defense.
Mm-hmm.
So that was where I went.
Okay. Still no Mike Shanahan.
I feel like he gets on there with Shannon and with John Elway. Now you're tripling up that era, and I don't think I have to do that.
Okay.
I mean, are you campaigning for Mike Shanahan? Or?
I'm just it's one of those things like you feel like a coach who won back-to-back Super Bowls, the only ones in your history, you would think he would get the credit for that. But John was the star.
Of course he gets the
right.
I mean, John's going to get the credit for it. He's one of the greatest players that ever lived.
No, I mean Mike. I mean, you would think that Mike would share in this glory,
but
and he would be up there.
But you don't. I mean, the reason we do that with Don. All right, think about how we're going to look at Belichick 25 years from now. You're going to talk about Tom first, and Bill is exponentially higher on the rung than Mike Shanahan.
True.
Don Shula. We do talk about Johnny U. The difference is that he did it with 3 different iterations of 2 different teams. He did it with Baltimore, then he did it with Miami, and then he got there with Dan the one time. So that to me, that's why you think of Shanahan first.
Okay. All his time in Denver, he won 61% of his games. 2 Super Bowl trophies, 14 years as the head coach, and no love on the Mount Rushmore.
It's not no love. I'm just Frankie Cleary said it should be Steve Atwater. I can't go Steve Atwater ahead of Von Miller. Atwater was on Super Bowl teams. Did they win them because of him? I mean, he helped. Yeah, John Elway. And I can't just completely dismiss that last Super Bowl team.
I don't think he was on those teams.
Yeah, he was.
Was he?
Yeah, trust me. I remember very vividly for a very specific reason.
Why?
Because he was the reason we got bounced out of the playoffs that last year. And then he came to play for us, and he was an absolute liability.
I had completely forgotten about that.
He came to play for the Jets, and I was so excited. And then I went, oh, great, you aged like cheese that was left on the sidewalk in downtown Asheville and trampled on by vagrants.
Yep.
Awesome.
He was incredible, and
he was great.
I had forgotten that he was a part of those teams. I thought he left just before that.
He left after the Super Bowl when John left.
Right. So back-to-back Super
and he
Bowl
thought
champion.
he was being super ahead of the times of, well, this is the team we built out of the playoffs, and the last ones, I just go saddle up with them and let's ride. And
8-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro.
He's phenomenal.
He was fantastic.
He's a safety Mount Rushmore kind of guy. I don't know that he would make it, but he would be real close.
He would be real close. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. When we come back from the break, it'll be time for the most important message of the day. And then we got 2 more teams left in the AFC West. Mount Rushmores for the Kansas City Chiefs and the LA/San Diego Chargers.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Times of smoke in the forecast coming all the way down from the Canadian wildfires. Air quality alerts across the Carolinas here for late week. We're in the mid-40s in the valley tonight, and we'll keep some hazy sunshine around tomorrow. Periods of smoke, high 76 degrees, low 80s on Saturday. Rain showers, thunderstorms showing up early next week. That'll clean out the atmosphere some Sunday, Monday, highs in the 70s. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is very busy. 26 westbound between Hendersonville Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound slows between I-40 and the French Broad River. 40 westbound slow between the Smoky Park Highway and George's Branch Road. An accident on Tunnel Road near Overbrook Road. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road north and southbound. Approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Again, Brevard Road north and southbound delays between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway near the North Carolina Arboretum. Near Fletcher, Hendersonville Road north and southbound approaching Fanning Bridge Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Summit Racing. Summit Racing wants you to gear up your truck or Jeep for your next off-road camping adventure. With millions of parts in stock, you'll find off-road and outdoor essentials so you can camp confidently and comfortably. SummitRacing.com. Everything you need for anything you drive.
See Guns N' Roses in the U.S. city of your choice and get the special Paradise City Lounge VIP package. For a chance to win, just open the free iHeartRadio app and listen to Guns N' Roses Radio, and you'll be automatically in it. For info and tickets on GNR's tour, go to LiveNation.com.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Here's to the dads, the ones who show us what it means to love unconditionally, to laugh uncontrollably, and to live life with dignity. At Ingles, we know that Dad doesn't always get the most attention. So this Father's Day, join us in giving the dads their due, along with the neckties, golf balls, and funny cards. We love you, dads, every day of the year. Ingles, all the ingredients for family.
This is the Sportsocracy, and it is that time of the day for the most important message you will hear.
Don't do crimes!
This involves crimes. Crimes were done, and then the ball was dropped after the crimes were done. And this is a shame on the Milwaukee Police Department, because, all right, so car suspected stolen, ends up in a crash, in a single car crash into a tree. They investigate. There's a 16-year-old who was driving the car, and so they arrested the 16-year-old. They impounded the SUV. 4 days later, they smell something coming from the car, which is in the police impound.
This is off to a bad start.
A next search of the vehicle found that there was a 17-year-old boy's body in the back floorboard of the car that they just completely missed. How do you do that?
That is a whale of a question.
They just went, okay, SUV, this one's stolen. Let's not even look inside, because I feel like that's not something that you can miss, right?
No.
Yeah, I mean, if you arrested somebody for crimes, stealing an SUV, you would think that there would be a search of the car afterward to see, I mean, what other crimes were being committed here? You know, and all it would have taken was opening a door and going, oh, look, there's somebody in the back floorboard. 4 days went by until they were finally like, whoops, we screwed that up. The weirdest part of this story, though, is that this is the third time it's happened to the Milwaukee Police Department since 2018, where they've impounded a car, and then later they found somebody inside the car that they impounded. Back in January of 2018, an 8-year-old girl spent the night in a freezing car because they just didn't even, they arrested the mom and left the little girl in the car. Took her all the way to the impound. She was asleep in the back seat. And then they found her the next day. It's insane. January 2022, Milwaukee's fire chief apologized for his department's failure to find the body of a 21-year-old woman in a vehicle that was towed away after being involved in a fiery crash. This can only happen so many times in the same city where you're like, okay, guys, from now on, when there's a car involved, we're going to search this thing top to bottom.
Again, it always strikes me that our stories have an alarming way of having kind of the same tenor.
Yikes.
Because mine is also a whoopsie. This happened yesterday morning, about 9:30 a.m., and this is from Mount Clemens. Man was at the Mount Clemens Hospital awaiting a psychiatric observation. From the sound of the story, it sounds as though he had a psychiatric break. They had him on a psychiatric hold. And what's the one thing you can't let somebody that's in the midst of that do? Walk out the front door, which is exactly what he did. He then proceeded to strip down to nothing, swim across a river, and climb a 200-foot-tall cell phone antenna, which he had to be coaxed down from by the fire department. Thankfully, he climbed down of his own volition. They wrapped him in the blanket. They took him back to the hospital for his psychiatric evaluation. But here's my question. How in the world do you walk out the front door of a hospital? Is there not a guy that's supposed to be there? I mean, Mongo, who we have referenced on the show many times, one of my best friends, he was a security guard at the hospital. You'd have had to have gone through Mongo to get out of that hospital. Now it's, for profit. No, budget cuts. I get it.
Right.
But how's there not somebody standing there going, are you supposed to be here? Why are you still wearing a robe? That's the question I really don't understand. If you're supposed to be leaving, why are you not wearing your own clothes? I feel like they give those. I mean, I don't know anything about hospitals. I've actually never been in the hospital. How do they? But your clothes. You're still wearing the robe.
Yeah, they give all that to you.
This could have ended much worse, but thanks to the great work of the Mount Clemens Fire Department, it was okay. The fire chief said, we're really glad we didn't have to go up in the bucket because he had managed to climb so far up the cell phone tower that the bucket wouldn't reach him.
Oh, wow.
Which gave me the angina thinking about, I don't do heights. Jeremy and heights are that's not a thing.
All right. My wife was showing me the other day a YouTube video or something of a guy that gets paid $20,000 every 6 months to climb one radio tower. It's like the largest radio tower in the world to change the light bulb at the top. That's his full-time job. $20,000 to climb this thing 2 times a year.
Yeah, I'm good.
Never in a million years.
Yeah,
would you?
I don't like money that much.
Would you catch me doing that? All right, let's continue with the Mount Rushmores for every NFL team here in the Sportsocracy AFC West Division today. And it's time for the Los Angeles / San Diego.
Go Chargers, go!
Number 1.
LaDainian Tomlinson.
And in the message, repeat the line.
And I didn't even think about that for a second.
One of the greatest running backs of all time in the NFL. Obviously, he's set lots of records when he was with the Los Angeles Chargers, or the San Diego Chargers, I guess I should say. And, I mean, we'll never forget that. You'll just never forget the 28 touchdown season.
Oh, he was unbelievable. Another guy played for the Jets.
Yep. And that was, 2006, I believe it was, and that was 2 years after Sean Alexander set the mark with 27. You thought that record would never be touched, and then here comes LaDainian Tomlinson. He was the NFL MVP that year. He is the most recognizable Charger of all time, in my opinion.
No doubt. I didn't really think about 2 or 3 that long either.
Okay.
Junior Seau, too.
He is number 2.
No doubt. One of the best linebackers of all time, and Mr. Charger. That the bleak times of that uniform, I immediately think of Junior Seau. For the little period of time that we got away from the powder blues, which no one should have ever allowed that, ever.
In the dark times.
That's what I like to call the dark times.
Yeah.
Is Junior Seau is the one that I immediately think of.
You don't have another. There's not another one. There's not.
Well, LaDainian for the first little bit, and then they changed the uniforms.
Yeah,
3 or 4 years ago.
I was gonna say the next one is Neal.
Lorenzo Neal.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. And I can't think of one off the top of my head. I didn't try.
It's certainly not Natron Means.
No. Natron means business.
So, yes, Junior Seau, no doubt, number 2 on the San Diego / LA Chargers Mount Rushmore.
Then I have a problem.
Yep.
I have 4 players that play 2 positions, and I can't differentiate them.
Okay. Dan Fouts and Phillip. And then it's got to be tight ends, Antonio Gates and Kellen Winslow. I did the exact same thing.
I don't know how to differentiate them because I feel like you can't have the 2 quarterbacks. You've got to pick one of those 2 because you've got to have one of the tight ends.
I think it's Fouts.
And I think it's Rivers.
Really? I mean, they both neither won anything.
No.
I mean, as far as Super Bowls are concerned.
No, and Fouts was fantastic, but he was never – I mean, the crazy thing is that both of these quarterbacks are really the same guy. Neither one was ever a top 3 quarterback in the league, but they were in that right there in the next tier.
Were they not?
Well, I mean, Phillip played the same time as Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, so yeah, I'm going to go with no. He never really –
Well, no, I wasn't thinking about him. I was thinking about Dan Fouts.
Fouts played in the same time as Elway Marino.
I mean, he was a little before those guys, and like leading up to that era, he was the guy. He was the guy in the NFL. I mean, he led the league in passing 4 straight years.
Yes. You also got to remember
That's hard to do.
He was also in a very progressive for the time offense.
He was.
Which I feel like if we were going to mention a fifth name here, Don Coryell would be that.
Yeah.
I almost feel like you put him up there and then just take Antonio Gates. But that's almost dismissive of Kellen Winslow and Dan Fouts.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's fair.
Yeah.
Who did you have on yours?
I actually had Fouts and Lance Allworth.
Over Antonio Gates?
I did. Because I couldn't really differentiate between the two tight ends. And if I was going to, honestly, I think it would be Kellen over Antonio. Again, it's the time and the dominance of which he played. Antonio was great. I get it.
Well, I feel like if you're – and this is just my thought on it. I feel like one of the quarterbacks and one of the tight ends has to make it up there. And it should not be the two from the same era.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying there?
I got it.
You give both you give both their credence.
Right. So you can go Rivers and Winslow,
I would
or
go Fouts.
you can go Gates and Fouts.
I would go Fouts and Gates.
Okay.
And that's with me fully well knowing that Antonio Gates could not block a 8-year-old.
Right.
I got that. That's not what he was asked to do.
Mm-hmm. Lance Allworth has to be mentioned in this, and if he's not on the Mount Rushmore, then he is at the foothills of the mountain. Because, I mean, he was the star wide receiver when they actually won something before the merger, when they were the champions of the AFL. He was like a 3-time AFL MVP, and that was just unheard of as a wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, and I get it.
He's
and
one of those guys that you talk about, he changed the game. He changed the way that the league looked at wide receivers.
Well, and see, that's what I'm saying with Gates.
And you're not wrong.
Well, I noticed that the tight end resurgence came along right after Antonio Gates because he was the first one. Well, he can't block anybody. Don't care. Matchup nightmare. Nobody can defend him. He's an absolute nightmare matchup. And so that's why I lean Fouts Gates. And then you have all the others that are on the nice little plaque at the bottom of the mountain.
All right, so we're going LaDainian Tomlinson, number 1. Junior Seau, number 2.
Yes.
Our 3 is going to be Dan Fouts.
Yes.
And then Antonio Gates as the 4. It's a solid list. If we left anybody out, hit us up in the comments on the YouTube stream. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, and subscribe to the channel so you can weigh in the chat. We'll take another break. When we come back, we'll close it out with the final team of this AFC West Mount Rushmore's exercise, the Kansas City Chiefs.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving time ago, 26 westbound approaching Fanning Bridge Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound slows in pockets between Bavard Road and Airport Road. 40 westbound slow between the 26-240 split, Malfunction Junction, and George's Branch Road. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road, north and southbound, approaching Fanning Bridge Road is slow. Hendersonville Road, north and southbound, approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road north and southbound, approaching Long Shoals Road delays, and Bavard Road north and southbound delays between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway near the North Carolina Arboretum. I'm Lyman Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Verizon. Ready to take control of your phone plan? Well, then you better take that next turn to a Verizon store, because my plan from Verizon is the kind of control we all deserve. Get exactly what you want. Only pay for what you need. Get my plan at your Verizon store today.
If your pubic region was quote-unquote junk, you wouldn't need America's #1 trusted men's grooming brand. But it's not. So show some respect with Gillette Intimate. For a gentle and easy shave, Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Meet Joe A, Joe B, and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect. Support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
This September, our iHeartRadio Music Festival is coming back to Las Vegas.
September 22nd and 23rd at T-Mobile Arena.
Streaming live only on Hulu. Tickets go on sale Friday, June 16th at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. But starting Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, Capital One cardholders can score tickets and other awesome experiences before anyone else for 48 hours only or while pre-sale tickets last.
Visit iHeartRadio.com/Capital One for more pre-sale details.
What's in your wallet?
Spring in the South means the return of Atlanta Braves baseball.
There's a liner out towards center field. It will lay down. Here comes Ronald. Braves win it.
The 2023 Braves load up for another huge season.
The Braves play here on ESPN Asheville.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
So much of life these days is rushing around from one place to another. Sometimes you just want to enjoy the journey on the way to the destination. And part of what makes it a little more enjoyable is an appreciation for the folks who help you get there. At Ingles, we know that the people who send you on your way are the same ones who keep you coming back.
I think you should take it for a spin. Are you serious?
Ingles, all the ingredients for family.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
It is the Sportsocracy, continuing with the Mount Rushmores. And now let's talk about the reigning and defending Super Bowl champion, Kansas City Chiefs. This one's tough for me because there are a lot of candidates.
That's a weird way to say 5.
That's it? Mm-hmm. That's all you got?
Well, you're going to have some massive representation from the current era.
You would think so.
There's one from the 90s. If you don't agree with me, we're going to fight aggressively.
And we're not.
And then there's only one decision. And unfortunately, they both play the same position.
Okay. Your number one.
Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
Not close. Not even kind of close.
I don't know how you can disagree with that.
And
the kid's on track to be the GOAT.
No. If anybody in the history of our lives ever passes Tom Brady, it'll be Pat Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, he's young. I don't care. Pat Mahomes is 6 years? Has already accomplished more than Dan Fouts accomplished in his entire career.
Yes.
Not even kind of close. And we just put him on the one for the Chargers. I would say Andy Reid is 2.
Okay.
Because he did get you over the mountain. He's the great mad scientist.
Mm-hmm.
And then you save did Andy make Pat or did Pat make Andy argument?
Yeah.
Which I could very easily see coming.
Yeah, same way we do Brady and Belichick. I can understand that.
And the only person I would listen to over Pat would be Andy.
Okay.
Because he is moving to get him.
Pat was my number 1. My number 2 was
Derek Thomas.
Was not Andy Reid. It was Derek Thomas.
Possibly the greatest pass rusher that ever lived.
Mm.
Did things that nobody has ever sniffed since. And unfortunately, passed away before we got to see the end of the career.
Right. Played 11 seasons and was 9 Pro Bowls and was All-Pro 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody did it like DT. I mean, he was going to be the next LT.
Oh, no doubt.
And
got almost to that level and only played 11 years.
It's very true. 126 and a half sacks. 600 tackles in his career.
Just an unbelievably special player.
He was phenomenal. So he was my 2. My 3 was Tony Gonzalez.
Ahead of Andy Reid.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
It's the era talk. I mean,
that's fine, but Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes are the dynasty.
We talk about when we talk about Kansas City, what's the reason this team's going to win? Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. They're practically inseparable.
Mm-hmm.
So Tony was my 3. My 4 was Lamar Hunt. And I get it, okay? But this, I mean, he was the founder of the AFL.
Mm-hmm.
Again, with like the Chicago Bears, I don't think I could do one without George Halas, and I don't think I can do.
But we did.
I don't think I could do the Kansas City Chiefs without putting Lamar Hunt on there.
I cannot, and I understand everything you just said, but I cannot fathom not having Andy Reid, Pat Mahomes, Derek Thomas, and one of the tight ends. For me, it's Tony Gonzalez over Travis Kelce.
Mm-hmm.
Solely because you've already got two members of representation for the Super Bowl team. That's the tiebreaker because, frankly, you could have convinced me of either one.
Mm-hmm.
They're 1-2 right now. Tight end, greatest tight end of all time. And then Tony had 5 years in Atlanta that I don't foresee Travis Kelce having.
Right.
That would be the argument for me.
Okay.
Is if you're going to say it should be Travis Kelce, well, that's because Tony Gonzalez had 5 years somewhere else that Kelce's not going to.
Mm-hmm.
At least I don't think he is.
Right.
Then again, I said the same thing about Rob Gronkowski. So,
Lynn Dawson on the outside looking in.
I mean,
Super Bowl champion.
There are a lot of guys that would just be on the periphery, but I don't know how you're supposed to make it into that. I mean, Lamar, like you said, Lamar Hunt was one of – I don't quite know how to say this. If you were counting off 3 people that were the most influential in the NFL being what it is right now, Lamar Hunt's probably on that list.
Yeah.
And I can't get him on it. So, yeah, Lynn Dawson, sorry. Will Shields, sorry. Yeah, Priest Holmes, Jamal Charles, Christian Okoye, who's one of my favorite players in the history of the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have him written on the list.
No.
It was, for me, it was 5 guys. And it was one of the tougher ones to leave off. And not just go, you know what, we're doing 5. Don't care. I'm the one with the chisel. So we'll put 5 on this one because they all 5 deserve to be here.
Never thought about Tyreek Hill in this scenario.
No. You can't be the 4th most notable person from your own era and get up there.
Exactly. And then past that, I mean, when you go Kansas City, great wide receivers, the next one on the list is Dwayne Bowe.
The only other name I would have considered, Derek Johnson would have gotten an honorable mention. Hank Stram obviously would have gotten an honorable mention.
Priest Holmes.
I'd said him a minute ago.
Did you? Okay.
Dante Hall. That's another one that he's one of the most electric kick returns of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you have to at least give the tip of the cap to Neil Smith since we have Derek Thomas up there.
Oh, see, that's one that I had just completely – I didn't even think about it.
Well, his career was kind of split because he played in Denver as well.
Yeah.
So, but, I mean, he deserves to be acknowledged.
Yeah, I used to love him.
There's no shot of him getting up there. But
no.
I mean, his contributions cannot be highlighted enough.
Larry Johnson.
And I said him too.
Did you?
And or Chris Jones. Yeah, you're the 5th most notable name in your era, and I can argue you're one of the 10 best defensive tackles of all time.
Maybe. You think he's that high?
I think he will be by the time it's all said and done.
Maybe so.
And the bad thing is you will never sniff one of these conversations.
He's only, what, 27, 28?
No, he's older than that.
Is he? Mm-hmm. All right. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Guess what? We've almost made it, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow's a Friday. We'll be back here at 3.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Times of smoke in the forecast coming all the way down from the Canadian wildfires. Air quality alerts across the Carolinas here for late week. We're in the mid-40s in the valley tonight. And we'll keep some hazy sunshine around tomorrow. Periods of smoke, high 76 degrees, low 80s on Saturday. Rain showers, thunderstorms showing up early next week. That'll clean out the atmosphere some Sunday, Monday, highs in the 70s. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 26 westbound approaching Fanning Bridge Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound, very busy between the French Broad River and Airport Road. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road is slow. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road north and southbound approaching Long Shoals Road delays. And Bavard Road north and southbound between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Clayton Road also very busy. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road slow. Near Fletcher, Hendersonville Road northbound approaching Howard Gap Road is slow. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's is always bringing pros more ways to save. Right now, buy a DeWalt 20V Max Drill Kit for just $99. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Valid 6/1 to 7/5 while supplies last. U.S. only.
We've got your head banging, guitar slinging, foot tapping jams. The new Rock 105.1, Asheville's real rock.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.